Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following episode. My name is Colton Brown, and joining me as part of what is presently a Fantastic Four, Andrew Meadows.
Not the first time, but the first time in a long time. And we have a first-time guest here today.
That's right, a first-time guest. And could you introduce yourself for the pod, Mr. Nolan Meadows?
No.
His head slumped over. All right. Well,
we'll take it.
I do know how to count. For what it's worth, I do know how to count, and our listeners may have noticed and probably would have surmised from the fact that we're covering a Marvel movie that we are once again joined by Mr. Henrique Jaime as well. So it truly is a Fantastic Four right now, and I was ready to make a Fantastic Three joke and say, well, you know, we couldn't find a fourth, you know, couldn't find a woman to be on the podcast, so you know we had to stick with the three dudes. But we got four dudes. We got we got our own little Franklin right here, you know, little Franklin Richards action. So he seems to be quite happy. He was a little upset before we started recording. But he's got a bottle with some sort of magical substance inside, which seems to be placating him quite a bit right now. So,
I hunger.
He hungers. Yes, he does. Well, I'm excited to talk the Fantastic Four first steps with all of you, including you, Nolan, of course. And I don't know if you saw it, but you know, you can certainly talk about it if you want later, but if you stick around, you might have a bedtime before we move on and talk about the Fantastic Four first steps. But how's everyone doing? This is the final MCU film entry of 2025. There's some TV shows I think that have dropped after this, maybe a little bit before too. But yeah, how's everyone doing? You guys excited to get into the Fantastic Four?
Well, this is pretty cool. I mean, we got four of us here talk Fantastic Four. Last time we spoke was, at least when I was on with y'all, was Thunderbolts. So we got another Marvel movie to see, and then we're in full-on superhero movie summer. So yeah,
for sure,
plenty of fun stuff to talk about.
We're coming right off the back of covering Superman, so we've gone from DC to Marvel, you know, competitor to the other competitor. But you know, it may not necessarily be construed as competition, right? You know, we're allowed to enjoy the things from the rival companies and stuff like that. And if things are good, if both things are good, then like, yeah, we're all kind of winners, you know, at the end of the day. So yeah. Well,
Fantastic Four is a pretty awesome property too. I couldn't be more excited to talk about.
You know, it's been a little bit of a struggle.
We've seen it before.
You know, it's been done before.
A couple times.
There's a whole background of, you know, attempts at bringing the Fantastic Four to the big screen, some of which we'll talk about, some of which I'll definitely talk about. But yeah, this is a big, you know, this is a big deal. It's the first family finally with Marvel Studios, you know, with Kevin Feige kind of allowed to actually maybe adapt these characters the way that he, you know, perhaps would like them to be adapted. And, you know, it's kind of one of the quintessential set of Marvel characters that has been yet to be seen really truly in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We did get a brief John Krasinski cameo in Doctor Strange, but this is really kind of the full on introduction of the Fantastic Four into the MCU. So it's a movie that I'm looking forward to talking about for those reasons and many others. But before we get to that, we have obviously kind of the usual shtick to get through. I think maybe we'll have a dad joke, maybe we'll have a fun fact or two, some headlines, some trailers, and then it'll be Fantastic Four time. And so I think that will in total make for a fantastic episode.
Very nice.
I'm just waiting for someone to do the Fan Four stick thing and say that again. You know,
I was gonna do the like operatic voice.
I thought about that. You know, we
gotta edit it in
do that
post,
justice.
maybe.
Fantastic Four. Yeah. I'll layer a few different voices. So
there you go.
Really epic, you know.
Yeah,
but
you have auto tune, don't you?
Well, I've got all sorts of effects on Adobe Audition that I could tinker with, and I probably won't, but I could. I've done it before with some things, but that's when I had more free time and I wasn't perpetually behind on editing things and stuff. But alas, here we are. All right, how about a totally embarrassing dad joke from the dad holding the little baby?
So, this one came straight from Nolan. He picked this one out before the episode.
Good. All right. Well, I want to say good. Let's see if he's chosen well. Let's see.
Yes. Well, he wanted to know what a dog's favorite superhero is.
Ooh.
Dog's favorite superhero.
Crypto the super dog.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's probably not what we're looking for.
That?
Bark.
What's that one dog?
Something with bark in it.
There's
rough.
like that kid's book.
Think more in line with
dog man. Is that
The dog man.
Rough
Dog man?
paws.
Yeah, what's his name? There's a dog man superhero.
I don't think
Isn't it literally just dog man?
I think
no,
it is.
definitely not Dog Man.
Right? Dog Man's a thing, right?
Dog Man is a
thing,
I think it is a Captain Man. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be something like with like paws, rough, bark,
Try
something like that.
Barktastic Four.
Labrathor.
Labrathor. Oh, that's
Sorry,
probably a variation there somewhere.
Hope you covered Nolan's ears when I used the shit word. No, he's young enough. He doesn't understand. It's fine.
No knows he said the shit.
He won't
He
repeat
doesn't
it.
know. His dad's wearing headphones. He's got cans on. He can't hear a thing. He can't hear a lick. Although he's looking intently in your eyes right now. He says, "This is some good shit you've brought me." All right, so Labrathor. So it is. That's actually. That was word. Excuse you, sir. You're too young for that. That's more specific of a reference than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like a generic, I don't know. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. You've chosen well, Nolan. I guess you'll get my seal of approval for this particular episode. But we didn't
better
get
when they guess it, bud.
You failed. Yeah. Well, that one was tough. It
was on us. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Oh, well. All right. How about a fun fact to follow up on that? Henrique, do you have anything
I got
fun to share with the listeners?
The smallest of fun facts, but I think it can hopefully segue into something more interesting, but it's more of a trivia thing where in this universe that takes place, as we learn in 828, a different alternate universe than our regular MCU, there's a lot of references to timely comics, which might be just like, oh, that's cool, like whatever name in the background is a different thing, but that was actually like Marvel Comics before they were Marvel Comics. And then it reminded me of this interesting book that I have. It's called The Amazing, Fantastic, Incredible. It's about Stan Lee's life, and it's written in a comic book format, which is super neat. And it goes a little bit about like what got him inspired, and then the creation of these heroes. And certainly there were others involved, and especially Jack Kirby. When it comes to this property, but a really cool book. That's just a fun read because it just kind of reads like a comic, which makes sense for a Stan Lee kind of memoir biography type thing. So yeah, Marvel Comics once upon a time was Timely Comics.
That's right.
It's a timely fact. Very nice.
Yeah. Victor timely fact. Oh no.
Oh
no. Oh,
we forgot about him. We moved on.
His story's been resolved, so we're good. We're good on that. He's in a different universe now. So, all right. Well, I have one fun fact to close this preamble out with before we jump into headlines. Which I will say there are not many headlines and there are only a few trailers, so we hopefully won't be here all night. We'll see. I mentioned just a couple minutes ago that obviously there have been multiple attempts to bring the Fantastic Four to the big screen. Most probably prominently, there were the 2000s entries with Ioan Gruffudd, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis. They did two of those. There's one that they put out in 2015 that I did mention already, and I dare not mention again because it's just it's a stain on the franchise. But Once Upon a Time, 1994 was going to bring us the first ever live action adaptation of the Fantastic Four in a Roger Corman produced film directed by Oli Sassoon, which was never officially released. Although there are perhaps ways to watch it if you search the internet high and low. You don't have to search that hard, but you can find it technically if you want. And
did you watch this?
I may have watched this. I did not watch it. So here's what I'll say, and I'll have more to say on it later because I think it'll be more interesting to revisit it after we've had a chance to talk about First Steps. I saw it a long time ago, like probably.
I think I saw it with you.
Yeah, we might have. Yeah, Andrew and I might have watched it out of general curiosity. It's horrible quality,
morbid curiosity,
and I do mean the video quality is horrible, but it may also reference other things too. And it's, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. There's the whole backstory. In fact, there's a whole documentary about it, about the making of it, the not release of it. So there's a whole thing about this. But what I will say in terms of how it ties into my fun fact is Marvel paid a little respect to this 1994 entry in the Fantastic Four First Steps. They actually brought in the Fantastic Four from the 1994 unreleased film and gave them cameos in the Fantastic Four First Steps. So Alex Hyde-White, who played Mr. Fantastic, Rebecca Staub, who played the Invisible Woman, Jay Underwood, who played the Human Torch, and Michael Bailey Smith, who played Ben Grimm. Sort of, I think the Thing. I think that it was a Lou Ferrigno situation where the Thing was physically portrayed by a different actor. They brought those four actors into the Fantastic Four First Steps and gave them a small cameo. It sounds like they actually appear in a couple points, but where I specifically noticed is there's a sort of montage towards the beginning where, there's a whole bunch of people in like little bubbles saying, thank you, Fantastic Four. And there's one with the four of them together. That's part of that montage. So, they kind of got the short end of the stick in the sense that like they were part of this movie that was made. They obviously got paid and stuff, but was never released. And so it's kind of nice to see Marvel at least throw them a little bit of a bone and bring them back into the fold. And they were at the premiere as well for the Fantastic Four First Steps. It's just a nice kind of gesture, I think, to make. They didn't extend the same gesture to the cast of Fantastic, but most of them are doing just fine anyway. So they are happy to move on and pretend that never happened. So, I just thought that was a really nice touch. I mean, kind of this weird piece of the Fantastic Four history in terms of, multimedia, and Marvel gave them a little tribute and the homecoming of the Fantastic Four with Marvel Studios and stuff. Yeah, just thought that was nice. So that's what I have on the fun fact front. And now we are going to get into some headlines. We have a couple headlines. We have a couple headlines to talk about. First up, we've got big casting news on the upcoming The Legend of Zelda film, which is being co-produced by Sony and Nintendo.
Link! Hey, listen!
Are you in this movie? Did you provide some voice work? That was spot on.
Hey, listen!
That's right. The main character will be Navi from the Ocarina of Time.
There you go.
No, that's not quite the news. We know who is playing Zelda and who is playing Link, and I say we know, and I can tell you their names, but I do not know them. But I can tell you that Bo Bragason is going to be playing Zelda, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is going to be playing Link. And if you click the link, you can see some pictures of these folks.
Oh my gosh! Whoa!
And there was obviously some smoke about, oh man, are they going to get Hunter Schafer to play Zelda? She just fucking looks like Princess Zelda. It's probably going to be pretty good. They're not going in that direction. I think that these two, I don't know how old they are, but they certainly look a bit younger.
They look young, yeah.
They look young. They look probably teen years, like late teens, maybe early 20s, but could probably play younger. But yeah, Miyamoto-san took to Twitter to announce the news, and so I guess technically what they showed, I guess, is supposed to be them somewhat in costume. I guess I'm not sure. I thought it was just pictures of them, but if it is in costume, then Link is not wearing any green tunics or little hats or anything like that. So we'll see if this is actually. I don't know that production has actually started. I think that might just be misreporting from Deadline, which is it happens. But this movie is coming out May of 2027, so it is close to a couple of years away. It's being directed by the director of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Westball is his name. So how do we feel about this? Are we? I mean, live action Zelda. I think we maybe, or at least Andrew and I would have talked about it, I guess, when they sort of announced it in the first place. And Henrique, you might have been here for it. I don't recall. But how do we feel about the casting visually? How are we feeling about this generally? I'll kind of open it up. What do you guys think?
I think these two look great. That I'm pretty. I mean, just seeing the image here, I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
He's missing his hat and his green tunic, but she looks like she's Switch Zelda. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Tears of the Kingdom style.
Yeah. Couldn't think of the Zelda, but yes, that one.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I feel like she kind of has the Zelda look, like the more modern. I assume, I don't know, like maybe not, but I would think that they would dye his hair or give him some kind of wig or hat, just because Link in all the games is kind of more blonde than brown hair. So I don't really see like Link necessarily. Plus they got, I definitely Princess Zelda especially has kind of the more like almost pointy elven type ears. So I don't know if they're going for that as well.
I think they got to add some stuff to them. I think a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe there's got to be a little bit more to it to see that. I'm not familiar with them, and I guess just from an age perspective, this certainly is leaning more towards a younger Link and younger Zelda. So I don't know. I'm okay with that. There's plenty of like good young Link stories that they could pull from. I probably think I would enjoy like a slightly more, not older Link, but like 20s Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I guess older Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, but certainly depends what kind of vibe you're going for.
And obviously there's many different ways they can go, given how varied The Legend of Zelda has been visually, tonally, with Link, with Zelda, with the world and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, if this definitely feels a bit more Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom in terms of the visual design of it from what we can see this very brief glimpse, which I think makes sense. They're obviously more recent, very popular entries, in the franchise. So I could certainly see that making sense as a kind of place to adapt from. But I will say these two, I think, very much look the role. This Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. Yeah, I think like Zelda to me is like a character. It's like, all right. I mean, you could cast, like find me an elven looking woman, young woman. I think that's probably a little easier. Whereas Link, it's like, I don't know, man. Like you got to find someone that like, I don't know, but he fucking looks like Link. I don't know how they, I mean, I will say, like, I'm like, you know what? This is the first person in like real life where I'm like, I can kind of see them as Link. It actually kind of makes sense. Like it's not far fetched, and he's just, I don't know. I think that he's got like that kind of like serious, kind of like little, like I don't know, like just his features. It just kind of looks like Link, which is it looks like a video game character. Is he going to talk? Well, probably. So
spin around and
2 hours of the silent protagonist.
Sounds. Like Zelda's doing like whole speech dialogue, and Link's like, just silent, just staring at her.
The same face he's got in the Symmetry.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
All right, well,
or he'll do like motion with his hands.
Yeah.
Maybe it's canon. Maybe Link communicates with like sign language or something. I feel like it's never been quite established.
Yeah, maybe there's something to that. I don't know. Well, I have to say I'm intrigued by this. I don't know if I'm excited, but there's definitely some potential here, I think, and this feels like okay. visually, I'm on board with this, and it feels like a good first step. A good first step. Oh my goodness! See what I did there?
First steps. Oh.
So well, I guess we can leave it there for The Legend of Zelda. We'll get plenty of news, I'm sure, well before 2027, but that is when we can expect the movie to arrive. So that's what we've got on that front. And moving on to our next piece of news, our final headline, kind of a triple headline of sorts, I guess. Maybe a quadruple, maybe a foursome of news put into one headline.
Boy.
Spider-Man Brand New Day. Production has begun. They are shooting in Glasgow currently, which is doubling as New York. It is, as far as I know, not taking place in Scotland. And the way that they are shooting it is very much just publicly on the street. And so they kind of got ahead of the whole everyone's going to be taking pictures of the set sort of thing, and gave us a first look at Spidey's new spider suit, which he's going to be sporting in Brand New Day. So we can start there in terms of the best part of the headline is we got a look at the spider suit. I'll describe it for anyone that hasn't seen it. It looks like a spider. He looks like Spider-Man. So we can start there.
It's red and it's blue.
It really kind of
With
looks
a spider
like
on it.
a little bit of an evolution of his final suit that he did at the very end of No Way Home. There's the kind of the shiny blue, and it's a very classic Spider-Man design. But I think the other notable features are that it seems to have raised webbing, kind of Sam Raimi style. And just I don't know. I guess just colors wise, maybe he's a little closer to the Garfield suit, but I think the blues are still a bit brighter. Like that blue feels to be closer to what it was at the end of that No Way Home suit.
It's like a shiny blue,
but he's still got the classic Tom Holland, eye lenses, which I think has been a really, really, really smart thing that they've done with the costuming for Spider-Man since he was added to the MCU. So let's start with the spider suit. How's everyone feeling about it? Do we feel like this is a pretty good spider suit? Does this inspire a little confidence in the costume design anyway?
Yeah. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think it looks great. I think this might be my favorite Spider-Man suit. Really,
hot take. I'm not inclined to disagree. I think this is like it's a perfect design combination. They've gotten rid of like a lot of the unnecessary lines that the MCU suit has had in some iterations, and just the colors just fucking pop. And it's still got those eyes to me.
It's almost kind of like Superman treatment to the spider suit, I think, in a little ways. It's just it is so bright.
Okay, it's like a return to form, like return to the comics.
I really like that large spider too. It's got a large
spider emblem.
Yeah.
It's definitely breaking away from the Tony Stark design there. And
those were cool too. It's just
sure.
This is
classic.
Now,
this is classic though.
Yeah.
I'm 100%.
I love me some classic.
100% for this.
I think currently I'm gonna wait to see like which one's my favorite. But honestly, if it wasn't for the logo, probably that first. Not the first, sorry. That first was awful. The second Andrew Garfield,
that's a good suit.
Spider-Man suit is actually pretty great. Like,
let's look that
but I
one
do
up.
like the raised webbing of the Toby suit. So I have this like whatever statue thing, and like the only thing that I don't like about it is the spider on the back. It's just the legs are too long.
It's the long, spindly, like the logo webs.
It's not clean. Yeah, it's not clean. So you give a new logo just because it's super comic booky with the webbing, with the big eyes. So I'm really digging this a lot, and I like the suit quite a bit. We'll see the movie itself.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. I was gonna say I almost said it looks fantastic, and I was like, nah, I gotta use a different adjective to describe it. I think spectacular, amazing. Yeah, there's so many options that I could have chosen from. It's superior to previous spider suits. That's right. I think it looks really good, and
looks pretty comfy too.
I hope that it doesn't get super painted over with CGI, when the actual movie arrives.
True.
But, TBD on that front. Now, to round out the rest of this headline, we have casting news of who's going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day besides Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Two pretty big names from the MCU are going to be in it. I think the first one is, well, they're both interesting in their own ways. So we'll talk about it. So John Bernthal is joining as Frank Castle, the motherfucking Punisher, will be punishing fools in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And he will be joined by none other than Mark Ruffalo, returning as the Hulk for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So those are the two big MCU characters that we know we're going to be getting in Brand New Day. Has been confirmed. It's happening. We've also received confirmation that Michael Mando is going to be coming back, reprising his role as Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion, where he played that character briefly in Spider-Man Homecoming and hasn't been seen since interacting with Michael Keaton in a post-credit sequence, and that was before Michael Keaton got lost in the Morbius verse, of course.
So I think it's something to do with Spider-Man.
Something to do with Spider-Man. All right, so how are we feeling about this? The Punisher, the Hulk, the Scorpion as well. We don't really know fully is Scorpion the big bad? Who's the villain in this? We still don't really have a clear grasp on that.
There's some more rumors too, non-announced things.
There are rumors
as well,
which we can talk about. So I'll open it up, for this too.
What are the rumors?
We can start there. What are the rumors? What have you heard?
Yeah, I've heard some things about potential Mr. Negative being involved in this. If you play the Spider-Man PS5, PS4 games,
he's pretty cool.
He was a big part of that.
Yeah, and I think that
which could be really cool aesthetic, right?
Definitely, very cool aesthetic.
I would certainly love that. Yeah, but no, I mean Punisher is awesome. Just John Bernthal's been crushing it as Punisher in Daredevil in his show, and then in the Return in Daredevil,
and Born Again.
Yep. So why not bring him back? He's in New York. I guess we won't spoil the end of Daredevil, but he's around.
He's around. He's
there.
He's maybe around. Maybe he'll do some punishing. Who's to say?
Yeah. Right. Certainly the tone you wonder about with Spider-Man being way more of a PG-13 franchise and Punisher being I'm gonna shoot these dudes in the groin as they bleed out.
It probably will not be as violent as
so maybe as not
what
that
we've previously seen with the Punisher. They'll give him a laser gun or something to do the classic 90s cartoon where it's Morbius. Morbius can't drink blood, but he can drink plasma. So it'll be some version of that.
I see John Bernthal hunting Scorpion, trying to kill him, and in the beginning, just a quick little snippet, and then him constantly trying to hey, quit trying to kill this guy.
Everyone that he sees.
Quit that. Stop it. And then you got to put up with Scorpion. It's like a 15-minute comedic fight kind of thing. That's what I kind of envision.
All right, well.
And then the Hulk comes in.
The Hulk's there.
Yeah, what's going on here? I don't know. I don't know what they're going for.
It's a lot going on.
The Hulk threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting Mark Ruffalo, but if they can't do a Hulk movie, they might as well just throw him in some other movies.
That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty much the approach with Hulk is, throw him in other shit, throw him in
until they have the rights,
movies,
right?
and that'll be that. Throw him in a She-Hulk, sometimes he appears on TV too.
You gotta be a She-Hulk and some Thor movies, but I don't know exactly where they're going with the Hulk, but I could see I wonder how big of a role these all will have. I could see the Punisher probably having the most involvement with Spidey, just with comics history and kind of power sets and such. But I'd be okay with kind of a Hulk part in this. I don't necessarily need this to be a Hulk movie. I'd rather still kind of focus around Spider-Man. Sure. But I love me some cameos in it, in New York. Just kind of, there's so many superheroes in New York. Spider-Man's bound to run into other ones.
Last time we saw Spider-Man was No Way Home. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. And then he erased everyone's memory essentially. So
and so he's
just kind of back to
basics,
back to the beginning.
He's only Spider-Man. Yeah. Peter Parker's
no
kinda,
Stark suit.
Yeah. And I think some of the concern in the buildup of the making of this movie was well, don't immediately undo everything that you just did. Don't suddenly bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. We just did that. We don't need this.
Right,
we don't need this to cross over with the Venom verse and have Null as the big. I think there was a concern that Sony was going to Sony this, And it does seem like they still could. There's time. There is yet time. But it does seem like with Punisher and Scorpion and Hulk, like, I mean, Hulk's obviously pretty fantastical, but like it seems a bit more grounded than like a multiverse sort of thing. And there's also kind of an added wrinkle of technically this is the next MCU film that we're getting, and now because the Avengers movies got pushed a little bit, this will be before Avengers Doomsday now. So it won't, originally it was going to be placed between the two Avengers movies, and so there was kind of this idea that like, well, whatever whatever happens in Doomsday could feed into Spider-Man, and that could still be true, but I think it's far more likely now that like this kind of exists on its own thing, and then maybe the post-credits of Brand New Day lead into Doomsday now. They kind of feed into each other that way. So at least that's my hope. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but that's certainly what I would like to see, is just give me a fucking Spider-Man movie where he's Spider-Maning about. He's got classic villains that he's going, toe-to-toe. He's maybe dealing with the Punisher who's trying to kill everyone. He's like, I don't really want you to do that. And then there's a Hulk. Why not? Throw a Hulk in there, just for good measure, So
that's one thing the MCU's always been really good about, is delivering on these fucking Spider-Man movies, I feel like, anyways.
I agree. And like, consistent. I'm like that. Absolutely no shade to No Way Home, which I think is really, really fun. I just don't need to see another version of it. Like, we just got it.
That's true. Right.
It's been a few years.
We did it.
Like, you just did that.
Let's do.
Like, I would love to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Secret Wars. I think if you bring them back in that, great. That's awesome. I want Spider-Man to be his
everything
own
was
thing.
pretty fun, but yeah, exactly. This is his movie.
Sony can go make the third Andrew Maguire.
Yeah, that would be fine. You want to keep those characters, give them their own movies.
Do that. Honestly, I would take it. Sure.
That would be fine. Like, I feel like there was like rumors that they would like combine the Garfield and Venom verses, and like it was the one and the same all the time. Like, sure, why not? I don't care. That's fine. But anyway, all right, we should move on. We should talk some trailers. We've got 3 trailers to talk about. First one's a pretty intriguing one. Actually, I should say both of these trailers we sort of teed up in the catching up section of our Superman episode, because Andrew had been up to some things that related to these things. So first up is the official trailer for Project Hail Mary, which is an adaptation of a novel by Andy Weir, who is the writer of The Martian. This film stars Ryan Gosling. It's directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who worked on the Spider-Verse films and like the Lego Movie and a couple other things here and there. Solo for
21 Jump Street.
The Jump Street movies. Solo for half of the movie until things didn't work out. This is coming to theaters in IMAX March of next year, 2026. So I am the only person in this room that has had no experience reading this book whatsoever. So I think it's probably only appropriate that I
change that.
I hand this off to one of you guys to talk about what's going on. Like what is this? What's this all about? So yeah.
Enrique is the resident expert here. I've only started to dabble.
As expert as in the person who read it.
That makes you by default.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
At least of us three.
Sure. No, I had heard some things about this before, and I was like, this sounds interesting. And then I thought they were making a movie, so I'm like, let me go. I've had it recommended to me, so I went and listened to it on Audible, and it is a fantastic story. So I finished it now, and it was one of those that for me I couldn't stop. And this is like not the shortest book. I think it's like 500 pages, like 16 hours on Audible. So not like just the zippiest of books, but man, I couldn't stop reading this. Like, it's just like everything like kept happening, and it's like I just need to know more. And it was a couple days later, and I was finished. And then I got Eastline into it, and then she finished it yesterday too.
God bless her.
We're both done, and we're talking about it. But I love this story. This is, I think, without trying to give too much away, this is science fiction, and you could say it's hard science fiction, but it's very approachable. Like, I don't think you have to be a big science fiction person to get into this. And unlike a lot of things that I enjoy, like the 3-Body Problem and like the Remembrance of Earth's Past series that we've talked about, this is a lot more optimistic. So there's certainly some darkness to it, and like end of the world themes, but it's also kind of a story about optimism, which was really nice at the end of the day. And I thought the entire ride was fantastic, and it just landed it very well in the end. So I'm excited for you to get to the end of this, Andrew. And in terms of trailer, I thought it honestly the first time I watched it, I wasn't sold. I think when you're like coming in with certain expectations, you're like, how is this going to be?
Like when you watched the trailer, just for clarification, had you already read the book like before you watched it, or?
I was
started, I guess.
like 3/4 of the way finished.
Okay, gotcha.
So I didn't have anything like spoiled, quote unquote.
Gotcha.
So I was just kind of getting a sense, and then I rewatched it, and I've listened to some interviews and watched the Hall H panel of it on Comic-Con. Okay. And that sold me more just because, one, Andy Weir is directly involved like he was in The Martian. So I think he's going to be able to say, and like, this is kind of what I was going for in my book. This is not. And then just as you listed, the team behind this, like great screenwriter with Goddard, and then Phil or Chris Miller. And then one more exciting person joining Andrew is Greg Fraser, the cinematographer from Dune and the Batman. So
have we here?
So this is gonna look pretty good. So
I mean, it's a fucking space movie.
I think
man.
with all that,
like space movies are like cheat codes for like it should look incredible, and it does. So anyway, yes,
yeah, you got to do it. With all that said, I'm pretty excited for it.
Right on.
How are you liking the book and then the trailer?
Yeah, so I'm on chapter 10 as of my car ride home tonight. Big moment in the book happened today. It's really cool because like I feel like these chapters are about 30 to 40 minutes long, and so generally speaking, I feel like that's my car ride. So like, wow, my trip into work this morning was massive, or my trip home tonight was massive. You know what I mean? Like there's like these seismic things that happen in each chapter, it feels like, and I feel like I can begin and end them in one complete chapter. Coming out of, I think the last thing that I listened to was Warbreaker or Warbringer, I think. It was one of the Sanderson books. And that was pretty awesome. I really liked that book. But like for sci-fi stuff, it was Earth's Remembrance, and I felt like either the characterization and stuff just kind of maybe it was lost in translation, or I don't know. It's just a style that I really didn't identify well with. I feel like characters are thoroughly understood in this book, and I just feel like it's more. There's a lot more characterization, and I feel like there's a lot more. The characters are more dimensional, I think. Or just believable at the very least. I think they are. So I think the characters are well written. I think it's a lot of fun. And the performance, the Audible that I'm listening to, I don't know which one you're listening to. But
probably the same.
It's thoroughly a performance. And it makes listening to it that much more awesome. And it's the one I'm listening to has Ryan Gosling on like the thumbnail of the book or whatever. So, really cool so far. Hard sciencey, but definitely approachable. I think it's characters first and then hard science second, I think,
right.
And, and it's almost like it's written to be a PG-13 movie. It's like he wrote. It's almost like in the back of his mind, he's writing, "This was a movie. This is how I would like." It's very things are laid out very visually. Like it's easy to formulate the way things look and stuff, or how he describes them. I don't know. I think I'm very much enjoying it. I think it's good. So
nice.
Yeah,
and then the trailer.
Oh,
how do you feel about the trailer?
I just caught myself pausing a lot and like, look at this. Let me look at this, and I haven't seen that happen yet. So it's a little bit spoilery, but it's
okay. I wondered. I've heard that this trailer maybe gives up a little bit more than people who have read the book think that it should have, but I don't know.
I felt like the most of it though is chapter. I feel like most of it's chapter 10 and before. You know what I mean?
It's kind of where you're at. Yeah, it hasn't really. There's clips of the future, like later on events, but you can't really tell just
from what I see. It's kind of things that I would kind of like. It's not so hard to think about that I wouldn't expect what I saw in that trailer to occur. You know what I mean? So
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So I'm cast and crew, and what I'm seeing, it looks pretty good. Pretty excited.
All right. Well, I have zero experience with the book, but I'm feeling pretty sold on it. I don't think I'll get to it right away, but I happened to just look and I was like, oh, maybe I can get it from the library, and it's got like 150 holds. I'm like, well, probably not then.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Might just take the plunge, and I guess Audible is an option.
The Audible is really good.
It's a great performance. I will echo that too.
Yeah.
I'm interested in reading it, but that was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I might find some way to consume this. If not immediately, then sometime before March of 2026 seems certainly doable. Although it'll probably be here before
Enrique and Isleen listened to it in
like, oh shit, I haven't started.
3 days.
Yeah, they did it in like, a
couple days. Yeah.
So it's definitely doable.
I mean, I have a longer commute, to be fair. So
yeah,
it was the one time I didn't mind getting stuck in traffic. I was like, I'm just going to keep cranking this out. I'm too invested.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to give it a shot at some point, but if nothing else, I intend to see this movie. I think it looks very interesting. I like Ryan Gosling a lot. I like Lord and Miller a lot. I like Drew Goddard a lot. I like Greg Fraser a lot. There's a lot here that I like.
Yeah. Right.
So it feels like a good combination of things. So Project Hail Mary, March of 2026. I think it's definitely one to keep an eye out for. Now, sticking with what's coming out for the rest of 2025. Again, something we sort of talked about. 9 Inch Nails is putting out a new album on October 10th. Called the Tron Ares soundtrack. And it so happens there's also a movie coming out the same day that's sort of like a visual soundtrack of the 9 Inch Nails album.
Like a big music video.
They're calling it, it's like a big music, it's a 2-hour music video. They're calling it Tron Ares. It's apparently a sequel to some old movies that were made some time ago. Well, one was like, I don't know, I guess 15 years ago-ish, something like that now.
Think like a 2025 Thriller, but or not Thriller, but Thriller. Michael Jackson's Thriller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yes, you had been bumping the new 9 Inch Nails single as what is it, as Alive as You Need Me to Be, I think is the name of the single.
Yeah.
Which is the first single from the upcoming soundtrack to Tron Ares, and indeed Tron Ares, which is the third Tron film, is coming October 10th to theaters and IMAX. Unfortunately, it still stars Jared Leto as the character of Ares, but everything else maybe looks okay. So, and if nothing else, we know from one single that fucking Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are not fucking around, and they are not phoning it in, and they are bringing us true, honest 9 Inch Nails. It is not Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. It is, in fact, 9 Inch Nails, which is that fact alone gets me so fucking excited. So I'm very excited. I think we're all probably collectively extremely excited to hear the 9 Inch Nails side of this. But how about the movie itself? You know, how are we feeling about that? Is this trailer? What do you guys think? I mean, you know, what do you think?
I mean, it looks cool visually.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, sure.
I honestly, the last Tron movie, you know, plot wise and such, was completely fine. But you got Daft Punk and you got the cool visuals. I feel like it was really at the time too. It was really big in that 3D technology. I remember you had I
think I still have the 3D Blu-ray of it.
TV.
And the only way that I can watch that
right now. You had like a 3D
now,
TV with the movie with the glasses.
I can still watch it if I put on the PlayStation VR headset. That's the only way I can watch my 3D movies.
Okay.
I probably won't do it.
But yeah. So if it just gives me like some cool stuff with great music, you know what? I'll take it.
And it's kind of the same as what we got with Legacy, and you know what? That's probably okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair. I think
okay
that's a totally fair take. Andrew, do you agree with that?
I guess I'm going to be. I'm very excited about 9 Inch Nails. I think that this could. I think it could look cool. I think that it. I think that it. I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be doo doo. I'm not.
Okay.
All right. And I might even leave upset.
Okay. That's what we don't want.
That's what we don't want.
I'm looking at Jared Leto for 2 hours.
We want to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean,
or is it the story direction? Like, what's leaving you? with this sentiment.
Yeah, the story direction looks like the story direction just kind of seems like trash. I'm not very excited about that. Jared Leto's also, I don't find him very compelling.
Sure.
It's almost like, and then Jared Leto I'm buffering through the trailer.
Are you
I'm scrubbing
F5ing Jared Leto getting disintegrated?
Yeah.
Yeah, more of this. Fuck yeah.
All I can just kind of visualize is kind of like Morbius a little bit, and just all his other, I don't know, just schlocky shit.
Yeah.
And the story direction with Jared Leto just is not a get for me. He's just so, I don't know. He's got a lot of misses with a few hits. This guy.
Maybe some questionable dealings in his personal life as well.
Absolutely, definitely. And it's almost like the Alien franchise, and it's almost like the Jurassic Park franchise. Right? Like, it's enough to just keep a thing its thing. Keep the computer people inside the fucking computer.
Yeah. No AIs
Right?
in the real world. We already have enough of that in real life.
Yeah.
We don't need it in a movie form too.
I don't need black goop with my alien. An alien is terrifying
Sure.
on its own. I don't need
It's true. Alien's pretty scary by itself.
genetically modified, goofy looking ass dinosaurs. I don't need that. A dinosaur on its own is
And
enough.
a swarm of bugs.
Yeah, right? What the fuck? Like, let's just, the thing is well enough on its own. And if you can't make it well enough on its own.
Concept is a good concept.
Yeah, if you can't make it on its own, then you probably don't need to touch it, right? Don't play with the toy if you don't get it. You know what I mean? If you can't, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so
Yeah.
it might be fun. I'll definitely go see it in the biggest, loudest way possible. Definitely for 9 Inch Nails.
Right. This is a Dolby one.
I
for sure.
am just hopeful that it will be entertaining, and that the 9 Inch Nails soundtrack will carry it to the finish line, if nothing else. Like, that's kind of all I need. And as Enrique said, like, that's kind of what Legacy is. It's like a super pretty movie carried by Daft Punk. Just, oh my God, just giving us an insane fucking score.
Bangers.
And like, it's not a bad movie, don't get me wrong, but it's not anything amazing. It's got some, especially now, however many years on, some funky ass CGI de-aging stuff going on.
Yeah, that was there.
De-aging, yeah, it's a little rough.
We got Jeff Bridges,
Everything
but
else
Jeff
looks pretty
Bridges
good.
looks like Jeff Bridges. He doesn't look like a fucked version of Jeff Bridges, which is good.
there
We
you
like
go.
that. We like that part. Unfortunately, Jared Leto still very much in this movie. But if they could AI deepfake him out at some point in like the next 5 years, that could be pretty cool. I am not confident that this will be good. I guess I will probably co-sign that, but I'm looking forward to it. I want it to. I want it to be fun.
There's
I want it to
nothing
be
wrong
good.
with that. I'm looking forward to it too. To be clear,
I want it to be good. I want it to be good in spite of the Jared Leto of it all. I want it to just man. I just want 2 hours of just fucking like visual glory with 9 Inch Nails, and hopefully not dumb and weighted down by Jared Leto's bullshit.
Disney did make a ride.
If it can. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You've
That's
been on
true.
it.
That's
I haven't
that
been on it.
Yeah,
Tron ride.
Disney
Light
did make a
cycle shit,
ride,
right?
so they're
Not.
kind of. I feel like they're making a.
They're like a little bit more invested in Tron. Kind of feels like they were cold on it for a long time.
Yeah.
They like did Legacy, and then it was like maybe we'll do Tron 3, and then they didn't, and then now they sort of are, but this isn't really. It seems to be a super close follow up to Legacy either. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe this is a springboard to more Tron stuff in the future. So I don't know. I'm gonna show up, I think. So Tron Ares.
Do you think this is like? Do you think people are gonna go see this? Like, is this gonna do much at the box office? Because I can't imagine it's
That's a totally
most expensive movie, but probably not the cheapest movie.
No, I'm sure it's a healthy budget without being absurd.
Right.
That's a very valid question, and honestly, no idea. I don't think Legacy was a huge success financially,
I was looking back. Yeah, it did like 400 million worldwide, which
isn't bad, but
seems like Reddit is. Yeah, it seems like Reddit is arguing about whether that was good or bad.
I think
for the movie,
it was
seems decent.
clearly good
Good
enough
at
that
the
they
time,
decided
too.
to make another Tron movie at some point, but clearly not good enough for them to make it within 2 to 3 years of Legacy. They waited a decade plus to make another one. So
I think that in itself is probably a misstep. This seems like a big gap in between, like, making these movies, you know? Like, you had, I would think at $400 million, you have a little bit of, I mean, how much money? Well, I guess Venom made a lot of money. You know, all those Venom movies did. I don't know.
But then the other Sony ones didn't, so I don't, whatever. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to predict how things do sometimes. It could catch fire. Maybe the Nine Inch Nails, kind of connection gets people intrigued. I don't know if that's like they're Nine Inch Nails, man. They're pretty big. Fun fact: Enrique and I are going to be seeing them live.
Gonna see them soon?
Probably about 2 weeks. 2 weeks time.
That's awesome.
Which is going to be pretty cool to watch them peel it back on the Peel It Back tour. So I'm stoked for all the Nine Inch Nails shit, and I hope they fucking play this Tron song, because this Tron song is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
This Tron song is
fucking badass. This is one of the coolest like movie affiliated songs like I've heard in a long time. So there you have it. Tron Ares, October 10th. Finally on the trailers, what will be, I think probably realistically the biggest movie of the year, because based on its predecessors, even though I don't fully understand why it is as popular as it is, it just is. It's just a fact of life. We are getting the third Avatar film, Avatar: Fire and Ash, December 19th, coming to theaters. What can I say about this? It looks like Avatar, and at this point, you either are in for it or you're not. And again, based on how the other two have done, it seems that about 97% of the world says, I am in for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think within that 97%, there's going to be varying levels of excitement. There are people that are going to be fucking super excited, and there are people maybe closer to myself where I'm like, I'll go watch it. But I'm not, I'm like, it just, I don't know, man. It just looks like Avatar. Like, it looks pretty. It looks like a nice tech demo again.
Yeah.
Spider's back. I'm not happy about that, but it does look like maybe he's going to get hurt at one point. So maybe we lose Spider in this movie, and that would bump it a few points in my personal column. I don't know. I can't get excited about it, but I know I'm going to see it. So I guess I'm part of the problem. You know what I mean? I don't know. Where do you guys stand with Avatar: Fire and Ash?
This is just wild. I'm looking at the box office. Like, every time I look back at it, and it's just like, that is so much money.
Well,
it's
absurd amounts of money.
It's just insane. Like, if this movie doesn't make $2 billion, I would be surprised. Like, they've just grown so much. And obviously there's been re-releases and such, but like, this is nuts. And I think if anyone ever said like people aren't going to go see Avatar, they're wrong, because people are definitely going to go see Avatar. And I mean, I'll go see it.
It's just really one of the few things that has still to this day like huge worldwide appeal, and that's obviously a huge point in why it makes as much money as it is. The worldwide part is, I think, a lot of superhero movies have not been playing super well overseas. China particularly has been like, we now have our own kind of films that we are spending stupid amounts of money on, and we don't really care about the Supermans and Thunderbolts of the world anymore. So but Avatar gets butts and seats whatever country you're in. Butts and seats for Avatar.
This one's also over 3 hours.
Of course it is. Jimmy C can't help himself, man. James Cameron, man. Like, I mean, I get it. That apparently he can just do whatever the fuck he wants, and people will show up. And again, I'm still part of the problem, but it is just like, it's just fucking insane. It's just like, it's the same shit. And I'm gonna like it. Probably. I'm gonna be enthralled by it. I know I will be, but I'm just looking at this and I'm like, he can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah,
the man will, and he's gonna make a 4 and a 5. He's
gonna run out of elements at some point.
We're gonna keep going.
We've got the 4s.
Well, he's still got. This is the.
Well, this is fire. The fire tech demo.
This is like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
This is the Fire Nation. So, I don't know what's left.
Yeah,
you got the Water Nation last time,
and you get a little bit of Air Nation here. There's like hot air, like
the
jellyfish.
Air Nomads. Yeah, you got to go the Air Nomads.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's pretty. It looks like a pretty deck demo. That's what it looks like to me.
Right, it looks nice.
It looks stunning.
It looks incredible.
I mean,
the fire,
unparalleled somehow still.
CGI
like this movie still looks fucking better than basically every other movie in existence in terms of just the fidelity of it. Like, honestly, from the trailer for a movie that comes out in 4 months.
Are we at all sad that James Cameron isn't just doing other things? Like,
I mean,
I don't know what that would be, but just like putting his time, other than like the last 30 years, like, you know, combined into the
maybe
Avatar
like a good
franchise.
Terminator movie would be cool.
Doing
Another
some
good
other
Terminator.
new movies.
That'd be fun. We were talking about Terminator today at work.
Right?
Who did Alita, Battle Angel?
I think didn't Robert Rodriguez direct it?
That was
I feel
Robert
like James Cameron produced it. Like Cameron was
right.
involved in some capacity, but I don't think he really. Yeah, I don't think he actually directed.
Yeah, I mean, people really like Avatar, obviously, you know, and that's cool. The Fire Na'vi look like they're fucking terrifying. They look pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, they look cool, you know. I mean, like there's a lot to like in here, and I get it from a. Like I get why people care and like are excited for this, and I'm just like, there's just the part of my brain that can't switch on to the fact that like I'm excited for this. But again, I know that in December I will be watching this. So what does that say about me? I don't know. But
I mean, just these the YouTube comments, people are pumped. Like this movie holds a special place.
No, I've seen so many comments where people are like, "Oh my god, this trailer made me cry." And I'm like, what? You know, but
I feel like the wild thing though is like it, you know, after this comes out the end of the year, after like May or whatever, like no one's gonna be talking about it. Like, when was the last time we talked about Avatar: The Way of Water?
We talked about how pretty it was for our year in review episode after it came out. I mean, honestly,
yeah, back in 2022.
You know, and totally, like it does seem to just like it's like a flash in the pan and it disappears. But it's like the hottest flash in the pan. It is the fucking
demo.
supernova, man. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's an atom bomb of a
But
movie.
it is clear that like, though it doesn't seem to have that sort of level of emotional attachment for the three of us, it does for some people. Like it does,
right?
You know, and like people wouldn't. I would have probably put good money on the second movie falling well short of the first movie's box office, and I would have been wrong. And so I'm not going to bet against this one. I mean, I do wonder, are there diminishing returns at a certain point?
Not for Jimmy C.
It seems to be kind of, seems to be impervious to all the things that you would think about of being like, is this too much of this now? Like, or was the other one too late? This one's too soon. I don't know. I mean, like, is it just more of the same? Is this that compelling? And like, I don't necessarily see it, but clearly people do, and no disrespect to anyone that obviously feels that way, but yeah, it does kind of just feel like, you know, this never dominates the conversation in the way that Star Wars does, in the way that Marvel does. The DC is now, you know, having a bit more of a, you know, a more positive version of that conversation with Superman, as opposed to obviously being like, man, another piece of shit DC movie. Wow, who could have seen this coming? Like the Avatar never really seems to have that level of cultural prestige. I mean, obviously there's shit devoted to it at Disney World and all that stuff, but like it still just doesn't seem to quite be in the same pantheon of things. But it's only had 2 movies, and maybe come 3, 4, 5, like, I don't know, maybe like this is the thing that people are growing up on, and like, you know, in 20 years people look back on the fucking 5 Avatar movies as being like the fucking pinnacle of sci-fi, and Jimmy C is a goddamn, you know, tech pioneer, you know.
He's definitely a pioneer. You got to give him that.
I think we can just, I mean, again, purely on a technological level, this is
unprecedented.
If every movie looked like this, then we would never have any complaints about visual effects ever again, you know, or things looking weird and fucked. Like, you know, like, look, there's things in the Fantastic Four first steps, not to totally jump ahead. We're going to get there very soon. There's moments of certain things where it's just like, this doesn't look as good as Avatar. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's fair to say.
Well, I'm sitting here watching the next thing that queued up after that Avatar trailer was the Mortal Kombat trailer. I'm sitting here watching that, and it's like, holy shit.
That doesn't look as good, you know, visually. But, you know, it's got its fun things, stuff too. So I don't know. Anyway, Avatar Fire and Ash, December 19th.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming.
Is that everything I said? And yet, yeah, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. No, pretty much no question about it. So, there you have it. There you have it, folks. All right. Are we feeling inclined to move on to talking about the Fantastic Four first steps?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. The Fantastic Four first steps is playing exclusively in theaters, written by Josh Friedman, Eric Pearson, Jeff Kaplan, and Ian Springer, directed by Matt Shackman. The film stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Evan Moss Backrack, Joseph Quinn, Julia Garner, Paul Walter Hauser, and Ralph Ineson, forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond. The Fantastic Four must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus,
Ravenous.
and an enigmatic herald,
He hungers.
the Silver Surfer. So, before we get into non-spoilers, we should do a box office breakdown.
Box office breakdown. I got pumped. I'm sorry. I usually don't do all that.
All right. Well, unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
you're carrying the torch for this movie because general audiences are like, yeah, we saw it opening weekend. We're good. Yeah,
Not stretchy legs. Does not have stretchy legs.
It's about
the
as
stretchiest
it's about as
of
stretchy as Reed's powers were in this movie, which is to say they probably could have been a bit stretchier, but they didn't want to make it look super fucked like they did in the old movies. It's my assessment of its legs. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, we'll get into how we liked the movie and whether maybe it deserved some stretchier Reed Richards legs and stuff like that, but it had a pretty good opening at $117 million in its opening weekend, which for those tallying was a little bit shy of what Superman came at. I think that was around 125.
It's not a competition.
But it's not a competition, but they did come out 2 weeks apart from each other, and so they are naturally going to get compared next to each other, and also because it's Marvel versus DC, blah blah blah.
I feel like that's commendable of Fantastic Four, though, to come.
It's
within
the highest
10
for any
million,
Fantastic Four movie
of Superman of all things.
Oh, for sure. It's the highest opening for the Fantastic Four. It's the highest opening weekend for any Marvel movie this year, beating out both Brave New World and Thunderbolts. It's there's a lot of good things that you can say about the opening weekend. The problem is the interest kind of just dropped from weekend to weekend. It had a 67% drop in its second weekend, which is not the worst that Marvel has ever seen. I think it's maybe around Brave New World, not quite as bad as something like the Marvels, but it's not good. It's not good. It basically shows a kind of lack of interest from the general audiences, and the trend has kind of continued. It dropped another 59% in its third weekend, and so it's really kind of petering out on the domestic side, and internationally it's not faring that much better either. So right now worldwide it's at 437 million, with 232 million of that coming domestically. It's early enough in its run. We're less than a month into the run right now. This came out I guess 3 weeks ago, roughly 3.5 weeks ago, that it's still got plenty of space in front of it. We're now kind of getting to the point where it's losing, or it has rather lost the premium formats. But there's not a ton coming out, but it just doesn't seem to be bringing in a lot of people still. It'll do well enough that it'll probably make it past $500 million total worldwide, working on a budget of probably $200 plus million. So it's not going to lose money, but it's not a runaway success in the way that, maybe it seemed like it was going to be based on its opening weekend numbers.
Is it wild to you that we're kind of scoffing at a $500 million box office?
I mean, it's
the context, maybe, right?
Right.
If it's
how much money you put into that, also.
Yeah, that's
true.
Right. So,
right.
And as a direct point of comparison, not that they're competition, whatever, but Superman's legs have been much better. It's clear that Superman has sustained more interest, week to week in a way that the Fantastic Four hasn't. And maybe it's because the Fantastic Four as characters are kind of poisoned by some previous entries. And I mean, obviously there have been some bad Superman movies, but not quite as bad as some of the Fantastic Four movies that we've had. So I don't know, or it's just, whatever it is, it's superhero fatigue, or it's the fact that Superman came out and preempted it, and the people that saw Superman were like, I spent my money, I'm not going to see the Fantastic Four now. I don't know. There's a number of things that you can always point to for why a thing isn't doing as well as maybe certainly Marvel and company would have hoped that it would have done. But it's not a bomb. It's not.
No.
It's not a success. I think it's probably
it's not
mildly
Thunderbolts
disappointing
level.
relative to expectations. It's better than Thunderbolts. It's better than Brave New World. Like, I think it just is probably more of a reflection, I think, of the fact that audiences don't just automatically show up for Marvel movies anymore, in a way that they used to. And they had that stretch where they were putting out bangers left and right. And they've kind of gotten to the point where, we've talked about this a lot, where pretty much every other movie is either is some variant of not that good or it's fine. You know what I mean? And usually the flip side of that is, okay, that was pretty fucking good. And we've had that trend continue up into this year where Brave New World, I think the nicest thing I could say about it is it was fine. You know what I mean? And then Thunderbolts came out, and the nicest thing we could say about it was, oh my God, Marvel
good.
actually made like a movie with like an emotional core that like is unlike anything they've ever done before. And maybe you could say nicer things than that, but that brought us to the Fantastic Four first steps, where the TikTok, what's going to happen here is the Fantastic Four. Are they truly doomed as a franchise? In the sense that they just can't get the damn characters right, or were they going to break the trend and actually bring us something worthwhile and give us a 2 out of 3 success rate for the MCU on the film side this year? So that brings us to our conversation now, answering that question of, hey man, did they break the streak? Did Marvel Studios finally get 2 in a row for the first time in like 4 or 5 years? Did they achieve the impossible?
Might they be earning audiences' trust? Maybe eventually.
Maybe. Are they trying to rebuild the trust so that people do show up for a Fantastic Four 2 or for
a stretchy guy, an invisible woman, a rock man, and a guy that can turn into fire? You know what I mean? Yeah. So who wants to offer their thoughts on the Fantastic Four first steps?
Well, I guess there were plenty of things that I liked about it, but unfortunately, the Silver Surfer was a woman, and therefore this is not a good movie. So that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah,
and
I don't like women.
Thought she was a naked, sexy alien lady, so I dug it.
So you were like, yeah.
The board is not attached.
Yeah.
The board.
I didn't have to look at a naked male physique the entire time, so it was awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Oh man.
No. One, there's comic precedence for it, so like it's just kind of a dumb argument, but like
I didn't read those comics, so they're irrelevant.
Right, exactly. It's
they don't fit my narrative.
It's too woke. No, I think overall I like this film. I made a list of like pros and cons that my pros are larger than the cons, but I think I've thought it back because I was curious about how this would go. It felt like a big summer for superhero movies. Between Superman, between Fantastic Four, and seeing how the Fantastic Four box office didn't live up has made me kind of reflect back and not necessarily change how I feel about it, but just kind of examine the landscape. And I think there is a lot of that you mentioned. Like there isn't that MCU enthusiasm that people had, and it is a little bit of like trying to bring people back. And I think certainly like we see some Doomsday and some things and some Spider-Man. I think that momentum is going, but I don't think it's quite gotten people yet. And I guess by the box office, we still got some work to do, I think, before we're back to the Avengers level box office, the Spider-Man levels. And certainly you can release those movies, but I think it probably indicates that we're not quite there yet, and we got to do a little bit more to get the audience back, maybe.
Right. And like even to the point where like your Captain Marvels, your Doctor Stranges, like the lesser known characters were like making $100 million in an opening weekend or somewhere in that ballpark, where it's just like no matter what, they showed up. And like obviously this did exceed $100 million, but like didn't happen for Thunderbolts, didn't happen for Brave New World, even though it did open fairly well for Brave New World and then collapsed like a rock after that. Like it's clear that like the diehards will still show up early on. It's just, is everyone else showing up too, or is the word of mouth happening? And like the box office is in a weird place, but we've seen stuff like Sinners this year is like a perfect example where like once the word of mouth like reached critical mass, that movie was unstoppable and was just bringing in people and like barely losing money weekend to weekend. So like there is still room for movies to bring in people, like to put butts in seats. And we said it. We'll see it with Avatar. Guaranteed.
The Jimmy C effect, the Coogler effect.
The Jimmy C effect, the Coogler effect. Like it maybe doesn't extend to the Shackman effect. Sorry, Matt. But like there are things that will do that, and it's clear that this and again, maybe it's just this greater symptom of Marvel having this kind of, weaker track record of late. Plus, I mean, there's also been I feel like Kevin Feige has also been kind of throwing a lot of the Disney Plus stuff under the bus of being like, people fell off the wagon because they felt like they had to do their homework, of watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and watching, Miss Marvel and watching all this shit. And then it's like, the people that are like, I don't give a fuck about all that. Why the fuck should I give a fuck about any of this? I'm so now far detached from this that I don't have the incentive to go anymore.
Two decade.
I've been left behind as of 5 years ago.
I'm talking about a 2-decade franchise so far, right? 2.5, probably something like that. At this point, now,
2 decades about, yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking if you're asking younger people to be interested in this thing that you have to be invested in from 25 years ago or whatever, that's a hard request. You know what I mean? You start to cut out a lot of, just a lot of younger people just because you're requesting them to be invested in 2.5 decades worth of material. You know what I mean? So I definitely, I 100% understand that. Totally agree too.
Maybe the solution though to bring things back to the Fantastic Four is put it in its own universe. Put it on its own Earth.
That's right.
Where you don't have to worry about all the baggage of the MCU. And hey, maybe in less than 2 hours, literally less than 2 hours, we will give you everything you need to know about these characters, and maybe that will be enough for you. I think that was kind of maybe a concerted effort here, a very deliberate move of being like, we want to make sure that we do this right. And we're going to do it in a way that is not reliant on the fact that you haven't, that you need to have seen a Disney Plus show from last year or 2 years ago or a movie from 5 years ago. Like, it is very much hey, this is its own thing. Come in, you'll get everything you need to know.
Yeah.
We'll less than 2 hours. That's it. That's all you need to know. So.
Yeah, it seemed like an easy sell, right? Based on that, and I have been anchoring for Marvel to do something separate from the main MCU timeline, from the golden timeline for a while, because I'm just like, if we're going multiverse, then just do a multiverse.
Get weird
and do a different
with it.
Story.
Right.
You can choose to connect it later. So I really dug that this was separate. Like, we certainly do our homework and watch all the movies. I guess maybe
I'm
behind on a few.
I'm slacking
TV
on the
shows
TV shows
point.
right now, but usually, prior to this year, I think we've all basically been caught up on everything.
Was pretty. Yeah, well, we were pretty good on everything, but. Anyway, we generally watch. This is like content for us, and I enjoyed that it was separate. Like, I really, that's one of the more positive parts for me, that like you can just do this story in its own universe and just tell that complete story. So I've been waiting for Marvel to do something like this for a while. So for that standpoint, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, yeah. Do you have any other pros and cons you want to run through now? You want to kick it over to Andrew, see what he thought about the Fantastic Four?
I bet you there's some overlap between us, but maybe I think a big pros were the aesthetics, the visuals.
Sure. Yeah.
The kind of 60s futuristic, almost like Jetsons type vibes that we got. I thought it was super cool. It just makes it feel very distinct from the rest of the MCU. It's like you feel you're in a different place. I'm like, if this is different, this is a different universe, different timeline, whatever, then like show me. Just make it slightly different. Like, I think when we talked about the multiverse of madness, I was like, this needs to go like more into the madness, and this didn't need to go that way.
This multiverse
different.
is more mad than what we got in Doctor Strange.
Right. So this felt different. It's like, okay, this is the New York that I've seen, but actually it's different, and there's some other things about it. But overall, like, aesthetics wise was great. I love the score behind it. I thought the cast as a whole were pretty good. I think I liked some people generally more than others, but I don't think there was a weak link in the cast. I would love to see all these characters come back, and I'd be excited to have them in Doomsday. So I'm certainly looking forward to more stories with this cast, to be in this world, to connect it back to the Marvel universe. But I think there's certainly some things that maybe they can continue to improve upon either in future films or maybe it was still in the editing blocks. So I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
plenty to like about this film overall, for sure.
All right. Did you feel the same way, Andrew? Did you have plenty to like about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I top to bottom, I think if we're talking about the summer as a whole and we're talking about superhero movies as a whole, I really like this theme of like I think the theme that I picked up in Superman was like be nice, you know what I mean? Like treat your fellow people good.
Yeah.
And there's just like this sense of like optimism. I think to pull back from I think the word used in when we were talking about Hail Mary. There's it's nice to kind of like surround yourself with material that is like, I don't know, just oozing optimism, like hope and optimism and happiness and togetherness. And I feel like that's largely lacking in reality. So it's nice to go and get it somewhere.
Yeah.
Good, a little bit of escapism, sure.
Yeah, definitely. And this movie provided that in a big way, I really, we'll start with theater viewing. I was in Michigan when this came out, opening weekend. I had a double
Superman.
movie theater weekend. Yeah. So for those who have not listened, I went to Michigan and I went to this big ass movieplex, I think is what I could call it. I think that's appropriate. I don't think that's what it was called, but I would call it a fucking movieplex. It was enormous. 30 screens was this movie theater. Massive fucking property. Lots of concrete. Incredible. Incredible. Except the air conditioning. They didn't have any fucking air conditioning. So I saw Superman in the Dolby Theater, and that particular theater did not have air conditioning. And I was going to see Fantastic Four in the Dolby Theater until I realized that, because you never know. The big thing with me is I know that I can go see a Dolby movie, and it should be consistent. Like I feel like the Dolby, like whatever it is to get Dolby certified is more stringent and more particular than what it is to be IMAX certified. Anyways, so I bought 2 tickets, one for Superman, one for Fantastic Four, both for Dolby. After Superman didn't have air conditioning, I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to try the IMAX." I mean, how bad could it be?
Maybe they have air conditioning in that theater.
Maybe they have fucking air conditioning. And it did have air conditioning.
Oh.
And I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't a true IMAX theater. It was pretty fucking big. It wasn't quite like floor to ceiling, but it was pretty close. But I felt like we sat close enough, but not too close to where it was like overwhelming. It felt good. It was a good theater experience. Yeah. And the special treatment that they gave this IMAX presentation, I think, was spectacular. Yeah, I thought all of it was great. Like the IMAX countdown.
Oh yeah,
I thought was. I mean, so it starts at the IMAX countdown and it goes through the entire. I don't know if it goes through the entire movie, but I feel like they treat the entire movie in a particular way for IMAX. And that was a very good experience. I'm very happy that I saw it in IMAX versus Dolby. So I'll start there.
This was shot partially on IMAX too, right? Because there were some
certain sequences
where they utilized like the full IMAX ratio and screen, right? Yeah.
Yes. I don't. They definitely shot.
Did either of you see it in IMAX?
So
I did not.
I did, but for my second viewing, I got the best of both worlds. I did Dolby first round with Henrique. We went opening night, and then I saw it, I think second weekend in IMAX. So and a IMAX, not a true IMAX, just with a list,
right?
But yeah, no, I think that with the IMAX, I do think that it had the whole movie in like a somewhat expanded ratio, not like
Not
a
all
true,
the way.
Okay.
No, right, not like a full IMAX ratio, but more than like what Dolby showed. So
With Dolby.
I
Okay.
felt like it was larger. Like it was a
And I
different
do
ratio. I felt
yeah,
like.
and I think it was shot with that in mind. Like so, I don't know if it was the literal IMAX cameras. Like I don't think it was like what Nolan's doing for the Odyssey or anything like that. But it was clearly shot in a way where they could have an expanded ratio for, again, not true full IMAX, but expanded compared to the regular 239:1 kind of ratio or whatever. So.
And this is where I saw the Odyssey, like little snippet.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
It's like, oh fuck, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And then I got the countdown. I was all there for it. Yeah. So to dive back in after the theater experience was cool. The sense of optimism and togetherness. It was cool. That the community. I thought you see it in the trailers, like thank you Fantastic Four and this and that, right? Like everybody's together, and then when shit hits the fan, I guess we can't. I don't want to get too far into spoilers, but like
there's a big thing that happens that causes
like
a little
around
bit
the city and shit, right?
It starts to disrupt, the everyone's having a great time and we love the Fantastic Four sort of things going on.
I think it's just cool to like when the community was happy, they celebrated the Fantastic Four. When the community was upset, they were upset at the Fantastic Four. And I thought it was really cool to see how the Fantastic Four reacted to the criticisms of their community. And I really enjoyed the way this movie was written. And it made me very happy. It made me very happy. With a couple of small exceptions. If I'm gonna, there's a couple of characters in here that, like, I don't know, but it's okay, and they're minor grievances. I mean, the movie as a whole was wildly entertaining. The space bits were fucking cool, I think the movie is really, really cool. I really like how tame, like how much reeled in they made these just outlandish characters, right? Like you got a stretchy guy. He's fucking stretchy, but they tamed him. You know what I mean? And when a particular sequence happened, I actually kind of squirmed a little bit. Like it was just uncomfortable. Yeah. It was just fucking uncomfortable to watch,
sure.
And I don't know, like it's easy to let the Fantastic Four, I think, be too much, especially depending on for example, we saw Mr. Fantastic in is it No Way Home? No, Multiverse of Madness.
And Doctor Strange, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that tidbit of their universe was so small that it really didn't matter how we saw Doctor Strange because our exposure to their world was so small, but we saw so much more of this like Brooklyn style 1950s New York that if we saw somebody coiling around another person, it would be like, well, it would just feel like out of place. It would just feel weird, but I don't feel like anything depicted in this movie was really out of place. It did a really good job of not being whiplashy with space or with a rock guy or a stretchy guy, or a guy that or another person, and I don't know. I thought it was grounded within itself really well. The sense of family was really strong. Yeah. I think the interconnectedness between everybody was
Don Toretto would have been proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Family,
Red Guardian would have been proud. Family. Back together again.
I think top to bottom, I think the season is providing what I don't know, just kind of what I want in movies, I guess, right now. What I want in that escapism.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
And And it makes me happy to get that. Like if we got a Fantastic Four that was gritty or a Superman that was gritty right now on top of like all the shit, like I just don't need shit. I don't want
the good
shit.
news is if you ever want those things, they already exist. You
they already existed.
You
right,
can go back to the dark times. But yes, we have decided to leave the dark times in the real world and embrace, fantasy and nice things and optimism and hope and being nice and family and respect and all these things. We can do that in fiction now, and it's great.
Yeah, So it got me thinking about like actors that I like and that sort of stuff. And actually, I thought about Josh Brolin. I got to ask you guys a question, not to get too far in the weeds here.
Okay.
It's not about mascara, but
it's a Running Man reference.
Yeah. Do you think that? How do you think that all the actors that act in your favorite movies come into your favorite movies? Do you think that they have the same sentiments that you have? Like, I like this I like these characters. I like these movies, and like, do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I'm asking my question the right way. But it seems like the people that make the movies keep making the movies that I want. And the actors that are acting in the movies keep taking the roles that I would like to see them in. You know what I mean? And it's almost I don't know. It's very strange. Like,
yeah. That's probably like a pretty personal thing to the creators and such, because it's still their job. So I would assume.
Like, so it would be like the job of the agent. The agent keeps like, hey, like I have a good working relationship. Well, sure, but
it's just like, do you want to be in this, multi-million-dollar movie or like this multiple year-long contract? Like that sounds pretty good. I would like
that.
In
Steady
Milan
employment's good.
In a boat. So I think part of it is the money, and that's certainly some actors that have come out and been like, yeah, like this movie like helped me like
buy a house off of Malibu,
pay for my beach house, like great. So it probably depends, but I think there's certainly some actors who like really connect with certain roles and like feel a sense of ownership of characters too. So it probably depends.
It's just interesting. Just interesting that the same people keep ending up and the same creators keep ending up like in the periphery, like they just like not in the periphery, like they're like fucking front and center, like they're always right there. Anyways,
So when you brought up Josh Brolin, what were you thinking of?
Well, like Josh Brolin, I got to thinking. Well, I got to So
I'm just trying to tie this all together. I'm not sure. Yeah,
so yeah, Solomon Running Man. It's like that guy's fucking awesome. Okay. Josh Brolin's awesome. But Josh Brolin was awesome.
Saw him at like a ski resort or something.
And was he awesome?
Yeah, I think he was just like with his family. So he was kind of like, "Hey, are you Josh Brolin?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool."
Yeah, exactly. He's cool. He's a cool dude. Anyways, so I got to thinking about Sicario. It's like that's probably the first movie I can really think. That's but cool not even movie. Sicario. I think he was in No Country for Old Men, right?
Yep, he was.
Oh yeah,
No Country for Old Men. He fucking rocked that. And then Sicario, he fucking rocked that too. He was Thanos. Yeah. That was cool. Thanos, and he was purple in Thanos. But he still rocked it. That's cool.
And he was Cable.
And he was Cable. He owned Cable, And then so I kind of think of like Thanos was I feel like Thanos was kind of like a money job. That's a money job. He's purple. You don't recognize him, No Country is definitely like let me dig into this role. Yeah, let me dig into Sicario.
So go for an Oscar.
And then you get Running Man. Running Man, he looks fucking awesome in Running Man. He owns it, And like I said, I don't know, like Running Man looks cool, and then Josh Brolin happens to be in it, so that's cool. I don't know. It just seems like
the Dunes.
I'm starting to develop like a ring of people that. Okay, yeah, he's in it. It's going to be good, because he keeps choosing movies that are good. I don't know why I started thinking about that, but I started thinking about it.
Well, to be clear for the listeners, Josh Brolin is not in the Fantastic Four first steps,
No.
at least as far as I've been able to.
I'm still thinking about him and his mascara.
But were there
Not even in
are
not even in the post
Pedro.
credits.
Pedro.
Are there, I was going to say,
Pedro
are there
Pascal.
maybe some actors in this movie that make you feel this way?
Yeah, Pedro.
Okay.
Pedro's the Mando. He's the Mando. He's the Last of Us.
He's Joel. Yep.
He's also in that Nicolas Cage
Red
movie, which is
Viper.
fucking awesome.
Yep.
So good.
Which one?
The Overwhelming Weight of Greatness or something like
Yeah,
that.
Massive talent.
That was great. Oh, that was fantastic.
Good movie. And he was also in fucking Wonder Woman. Can't forget his role in Wonder Woman.
He
I mean,
stole
we
the show.
Can,
Didn't he?
we can actually.
Life
We-
could
we
be
actually
good.
Can.
Life is good, but it could be better.
But it could be better.
I feel like I mean, everybody chooses some movies for paychecks. I would imagine. You know what I mean? They get in, and maybe
I mean, it's inevitable,
and they
It's like a Wonder Woman movie. Like you want to be in a Wonder Woman movie? Like, of course, yeah. That's
and they
especially
get what
at that
they're
time in
and they
his
get what
career,
they're given too. You know what I mean? And if the director doesn't request much, and and you get no sort of like feedback on the other end of the loop or whatever, then maybe you end up with a shitty product. You know what I mean? You end up with a shitty performance. Like I said, I don't know. I was thinking about it one night and I figured I'd bring it up. So, that's that, I guess. So,
well, I think I'll draw on that to start my general thoughts on Fantastic
Vanessa
Four First
Kirby
Steps.
in fucking Mission Impossible and fucking
She's great.
Vanessa Kirby.
She might be my MVP of the cast, honestly.
It's pretty good.
I mean, I think that the character is given a lot of prominence, and I think in a way that the Invisible Woman kind of really hasn't in prior entries, to be honest. So I think there's that character is just given a lot more than we've seen. But Vanessa Kirby, she's just, I don't know, man, she's great. I really liked the four overall. I mean, I guess we can get into whether we felt like they were well cast. I know you guys have said some vague things about things you like, either characters you didn't like or maybe actors that you preferred over others. Like Pedro was probably the only one of the four where I was probably not totally sold on from the initial casting, which is not a reflection on Pedro at all, in the sense that I think he's fucking great. He's a great actor. There's this kind of, I don't know if this really ties into what Andrew's talking about, but it's like, is Pedro being overexposed right now between, Mando and Last of Us and then kind of now this, and I don't know, probably another thing, Gladiator. He was in Gladiator 2.
Yeah, fuck that movie.
But so I was kind of just like, I don't know, man. Reed Richards is a very specific character, like kind of like a genius, one of the smartest people on earth. And I don't know, I just never really thought about Pedro as like a fit for this role. But there's this, there's the dad side of things that we see in First Steps, and it's like, well, we've definitely seen Pedro. He's the internet's daddy, but in addition to being the internet's daddy, he gives a lot of dad energy, as Joel and the Mando with Grogu, like so it's like, I don't know, from that standpoint, like that's actually a really, really interesting fit. And so for me, it was really fun to watch this movie, like kind of like expecting that side of things to work, but then kind of being like impressed, being like, I don't know, I mean, he's saying some, shit here and there, Archimedes, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, okay, whatever. But like, I don't know, I kind of bought it. Like I bought into it. Like I did think that, Pedro was as smart as he, as this character should be, like I thought I really kind of bought that. Vanessa Kirby, I thought was fantastic. Like she just perfectly embodied Sue. Evan Moss Backrack, I was always kind of sold on too. And I really enjoyed The Thing. We finally got a thing that looks like kind of like The Thing, and like no disrespect to the Michael Chiklis makeup. It's a guy in a costume, and there's obviously inherent limitations to that, but I think this is one of the few times where I think a fully CG rendered version of the character totally made sense, and I think just the design was really, really smart and strong. And Joseph Quinn, I he's kind of stolen the show since Stranger Things, breaking onto the scene as Eddie. I really liked him here. I think his wig's a little wonky.
That was Eddie. Holy shit.
His contacts are a little wonky, so I think like visually, like I think it's a little jarring seeing him, blonde hair, blue eyed. But But I actually really enjoyed the characterization of Johnny in this movie, which is not at all what Chris Evans did. It's not at all, the Michael B. Jordan version of, like it's a little bit more refined. And so I thought this is a movie that lives and dies by the togetherness, by the strength of the bond of these principal four of the Fantastic Four. And I think that they cast them really well. And I think that's what, that's kind of the glue of this movie for me is like, these four are really fun on screen together. I think they have some genuine chemistry, which is really interesting because they are apparently not cast after any sort of chemistry reads. It was just very much, they thought they were the right people for the role and they hoped that they would gel. But I think that they did. So I thought the cast was kind of like a really great anchor of this film. Beyond that, I think it had compelling villains. We'll get into those more in spoilers, obviously. The production design, as Enrique has already kind of mentioned, just top tier for me.
Yeah, it is.
The retro futuristic stuff was so fucking cool. So unlike anything we've seen in the MCU, and honestly, just like a standout in general. Would be a standout in the MCU, is a standout in the MCU, but is also a general standout. Like, I'll be thinking about the production design of this when it comes time for year in review. And I usually don't say that about Marvel movies because a lot of them tend to kind of have a CGI-esque quality to them, a little bit, filmed on a backlot, kind of feel to it. And this very much felt to me like a lived in, breathed in world, which is very much like, a past version of our world, but different enough, set far enough apart from our own real world that it felt fantastic, I'll say. So, yeah. Go ahead.
I have a question. In the comics or whatever you guys' knowledge is on the characters, is Sue Reed Richards kind of like staple to everything? Does she pull him down? She ground him is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, there's so many, it's been around for forever, but yeah, I think there's plenty of times when I think still generally in the comics, Reed is the centerpiece of the Fantastic Four, but I think there's plenty of times where you need Sue there to have the four work together.
I really think that they nailed the new parent kind of thing in this.
Yeah.
Where you have
speaking from experience.
Yeah. It really touched at home. Not in any one particular thing, but just the energy, when you talk about mom needs certain things, you know what I mean? Or certain, you're trying to do a particular thing to help, but maybe that's not the thing that's required. You know what I mean? That's not what they're asking for. That's what's not needed. But you're you only think a particular way. You don't mean any particular thing. You know what I mean? But what you're saying and what you're doing isn't necessarily what, there's, I don't know, communication can kind of get lost. And I think they explore that in a really, really thoughtful way. I think I think it's really well written. Yeah. So I enjoyed how, in this particular iteration of the Fantastic Four, how Sue really kind of grounded Reed, and
I think that's probably generally true in comics as well, or at least Reed, when left to his own devices, can get pretty out there, and
it's not necessarily just Sue either. Yeah, it's the team.
Sure, it's the team, but Sue particularly,
right,
Reed and Sue,
right.
I think that is generally true. Reed is at his best when Sue is by his side, and when Sue is not by his side, or when maybe Namor is hanging around,
creating a council of Reeds.
Yeah, he's kind of doing too much. He doesn't know how to say no to himself, and that's kind of where he gets himself into trouble, and things escalate, and he's too smart for his own good at times, and he kind of needs the sort of check to be no, or take a break, whatever whatever kind of Sue, can offer him in that particular way to ground him, as you say, to bring him back down to no, here's what's important. Here's where your priorities should be. Here's just a baby. He's just a baby,
take care of it. He's just
perfect.
a baby.
He's perfect the way he is right now.
And
right?
do this.
There's a
and
lot
do that.
there's some of it that really hit home, and then there's some of it that's just the energy, But
For sure.
It was I don't know. Yeah, it's very good movie.
Yeah. My last final thoughts, so we can get into some spoilers and get into things a little bit, without holding back. Obviously, score was really good. Michael Giacchino, really enjoyed it. I think that it was very smart for them to introduce the theme as early as they did, so that by the time and have it in every trailer and every TV spot, so that by the time it's in the movie, it already kind of felt iconic in a way that not exactly the same way, but the Superman theme was iconic in Superman. Because it was a 50-year-old theme. This is not a 50-year-old theme, but you've heard it so many times that I thought it was
kind of felt like it, right?
It kind of felt like, it's always, this has been the Fantastic Four theme. And I don't know, it's not, the MCU has never been one that's been bad about scores, but it doesn't have a super large amount of iconic themes. You've got the Avengers theme.
There's a couple of good ones.
There's the recognizable things here and there, but this kind of feels like I don't know, just very kind of catchy, but the right sort of whimsical and fun thing that the Fantastic Four should be. So I really, really enjoyed the theme. Qualms, I think some pacing issues. I think it's a little bit montage heavy in the beginning, maybe not enough action, but I have general, thoughts that we can maybe hit on in spoilers there. But at the end of the day, I really liked it. In fact, if I may be so bold, I will say this is the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. And I can say that pretty much definitively because I've recently rewatched all of them. So
hands down.
We'll get into that and catching up. But
sure.
That's what I'm going to say. So that's my final thought is, hey, if you've ever wanted to see the Fantastic Four done in a way that kind of doesn't suck, you're going to get it here with the Fantastic Four First Steps. And I'll even go a step beyond that. I'll say these characters are adapted pretty well. I think this is a very engaging, entertaining movie. And it's not the best movie ever. It's maybe not even the best superhero movie that came out in July. I don't know. That's maybe a conversation for a different day. But it's really quite good. And I actually think that I guess I'm the only one here that's seen it twice. I liked it a lot more the second time. Maybe a lot more is too much. I enjoyed it the first time. I wasn't wowed or blown away by it. There was a lot of things I liked about it. There were things that stood out to me. And I sat on it for probably a week and a half. And then I saw it again and I just really, really enjoyed it. I really it just felt like good comfort food. And not in an insulting way, but in this is just nice. That is sort of escapism. This is 2 hours of just this is nice. I'm on a different earth where people kind of don't seem to suck ass and, celebrate their heroes and, aren't, fucking psychos all the time. It just felt nice, man. So yes, that's that's how I feel about it. So let's do a recommendation. Would everyone recommend seeing this in theaters? Should we recommend that people wait to catch it at home? Whether it's buying the 4K or seeing it on Disney Plus, or God forbid, is it Fantastic tier? Should this be shut into a dark corner and used only for torture at Guantanamo Bay? What do you think?
If someone pays me, I'll watch it. To this day, I have not seen Fantastic. And I'm not planning to unless someone wants to start a GoFundMe.
I said
whatever.
I take it back. I said I rewatched all the Fantastic Four movies. That's not
you
true.
You skipped it.
I did not rewatch Fantastic, but I have
son of a
seen
bitch.
It. I have seen it. I did lie. In my brain, I was telling the truth, but I very deliberately made a choice to never rewatch that.
My rate is honestly $20. $20. I'll watch the movie. So if
that's not bad. I mean, you should.
$20. We might be able. You and I can pitch in, and we can.
Then I'm not paying for the movie.
Corner.
You have to get the movie for me or stream it, whatever, and then pay $20 for my time. So it's more than it's a better deal than my going rate, but that's what I'll take.
If we get 5 new supporters on Patreon,
We'll do a bonus episode.
I'll do it.
We'll do a bonus episode.
Okay.
I'm going to force Andrew
Fine,
to do
there
it.
we go.
Five supporters on Patreon.
I've never seen
And
it either.
we'll do it.
There you go.
But which I'm feeling pretty good about things. It's not going to happen, so we're good. Maybe that says more about our podcast than anything else, but I don't care. Hey, if
there it
whatever
is.
it takes.
If it happens, I will do it.
It's small potatoes. If we can get 5, it's a small price to pay. For us. So anyway, so yes, recommendation. How are we feeling about it? What do we think?
I think I would say go watch this in theaters, and I'm still going to stick by that. I don't know that I've found myself necessarily like in real life telling people and like urging people to go see this in theaters. So I think and that probably comes with some of the cons that I have about this movie. It's just like, it's just fun time. I enjoyed it, but I would still recommend it. And I hope that listeners go see this in theaters, but I have not found myself texting people and bringing it up in conversation and be like, you got to go see this movie in theaters. So if someone asked me, that's what I would say, but I haven't gone out of my way to volunteer that.
Okay. I think that's fair. That's a fair take. Andrew, do you agree? Do you disagree?
Well, see it in theaters. See it in theaters. See it in the format that is the biggest way you can. It should be IMAX if you can.
Big D.
Yeah, the Big D. You can go see it in the Big D. I don't know if there's a format change in the Big D. I'd be interested to know. But there should be a format change in the Big D, you would think. Anyways, biggest, loudest way you can. And I've told people that hey, you went to the movie theaters? I did. I went and saw Superman, and I went and saw Fantastic Four. I thought they were both great. You need to go see them in theaters. But I guess I really don't text people, or I don't really tell people, I guess, when I go see the movies, I guess.
Well, you do.
I don't know. I do hear.
About
Boom. Yeah, I guess it's more so than anyone else, I guess.
Yeah.
That's that's why we keep this recommendation section here for anyone that hasn't seen it, hasn't made a theater trek. You
need to go see this movie. I think this movie is a good dose of optimism. People aren't shit. There is light at the end of the day, and I think this is good. I think people have more in common than they have not in common, and life is good. I think that's what I don't know. I enjoy watching,
but it could be better.
But it could be better.
Could be better if you watch the Fantastic Four first steps in theaters.
It is good.
There you go.
Perfect plug. So I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie top to bottom. I have my quarrels with it. But I think this is I thought Thunderbolts was a really good return to form, that was a very compelling Marvel movie. I enjoyed how thoroughly different this was. How comic booky it was. How I enjoyed I don't know, top to bottom I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I think that it's worthy of a theater visit. So
it's an easy one for me. Go see this in theaters. I think it's got heart. It's got a lot of spectacle. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a sub 2 hour runtime, and hell, it probably could have been a little bit longer even, and it would have been fine. There's a lot to like, and it's just nice to see these characters done right. And I think that as someone who, I haven't read much of any of like the more recent runs on Fantastic Four, comic book runs, I should say, but I, back in the day had a couple like Barnes and Noble collected editions of the 1960s comics, the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby ones. And like, this is a beautiful, like kind of homage to the early heyday of the Fantastic Four, both visually, like sometimes, there's like some little fun things in this movie that are clear references to those comics. And like, this just feels like, oh, hey, they get it, and there was things about the Tim Story 2000s Fantastic Four movies that like did these characters well. There was maybe some other issues with those movies. Then there's obviously Fanforstic, which they took a different approach to things and it didn't work. That's me being exceptionally kind. But again, if you want to hear further thoughts, bonus episode. 5 supporters on Patreon. 5 new supporters on Patreon, not total. Let's be clear. Okay. 5 new. You bet you start recruiting if you really want to hear us talk about Fan 4 Stick. You fucking crazy sons of bitches. Man, it's just nice to see the Fantastic Four on the big screen with Marvel Studios, in the way that it was so fun to see Spider-Man back, in the way that I'm looking forward to seeing X-Men. And there have been a lot of good X-Men movies, so it's not even like the best comparison, but like
there's a lot of shit too.
It's nice.
But you want to see them in the
I want to see
universe,
them integrated with others, and like this is obviously not exactly that, because it is its own standalone universe, so it's kind of different. But we know that things are going to happen in the future to put everything together. We know that. That's a fact. They're going to be in Doomsday. It's not a secret. They're going to be playing with, playing on screen with whoever, name a random Marvel character that's still alive, and they'll probably be in that movie, or they'll be in Secret Wars. So anyway, go see it in theaters. You heard it here first. We have a consensus recommendation. Now let's move on to some spoilers, full spoilers for the Fantastic Four First Steps. So do you want to talk? I feel like there's some things that maybe you guys didn't love about this movie. It sounds like I'm curious to hear about that, and then maybe we can end things on a lighter, more positive note. So
sure,
yeah. And I don't think everything about this movie is wonderful, but I am curious just to hear what you guys didn't like as much.
And I do have to give this movie a second watch through to marinate in it and go through it all. But certainly I thought back, and even in the theater experience, I thought I really liked the beginning and the middle, and the end was okay. But script wise, I thought there were a couple things that I could have used a little bit more on. Like I could have used kind of a bigger sequence in the third act that really got me going. Like I like Galactus a lot. I thought the sequence in space was exhilarating, was fantastic. It looked really cool with the Silver Surfer, like surfing through the magma and the fire and everything in space. And I thought that the ending was kind of okay. I don't know if it was just coming back to Earth, kind of lost some of its sauce for me. Okay. And then particular with the characters we're talking about, I'm still a little bit torn on Reed in particular, like the Reed Richards in this movie. And there's been so many iterations of Reed throughout the years that I think you kind of pick which one you want to do. But overall, I think a lot of these things I could see improving in the future. But like you said, I thought Sue Storm was incredible. The Thing was the best the Thing's ever looked. I generally liked the Human Torch and Johnny Storm, but Reed is still the one that I'm kind of a little bit torn on. I don't know necessarily if it's Pedro and the performance with it, or the way the character was written, but I certainly bought that he was smart, but that burden and the possibility of the kind of the nihilism and the dark turns that Reed could take certainly weren't present here, which are okay. But
meaning that in the comics he explores those things more thoroughly than what he did in the movie, or he doesn't explore those things in the comics at all?
I think this was like a very much like a nice version of Reed.
Okay.
Like he's not perfect by any means, but that weight, and they kind of alluded to it in this one, like the weight of knowledge and the weight of responsibility, kind of like Spider-Man feels the weight of responsibility in a different way.
Yeah.
But Reed, being the smartest person on Earth, just feels that burden all the time, and he can't help himself, and like he gets in his own way because of that. And you see glimpses of it here where he's trying to work on Franklin and figure out what's going on with Franklin, but just like Reed often can become the not necessarily antagonist, but kind of like the driving force against
against
the narrative, like against
if that's a criticism for you, I felt that thoroughly through and through. Reed Richards became a problem in his marriage, it became a problem. Like, he I felt, maybe that's the nice version, but I thoroughly felt it. I felt that he, the way that he was treating the pregnancy and the potential for problems and this and that, and like you say, the weight of responsibility to like fix these things, and then his lack of attention to other details. I feel, I think that, I felt that those were written those were the things that I really liked about the movie, because I thought that they were written. I felt those things. You know what I mean? Those were the things that really kind of hit with me. So it's interesting, So maybe
different perspectives,
those.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those were the things that made me feel. Those are the things that made me identify with Reed Richards.
Okay.
So
and as a whole, would you say that like you felt the emotion and the heart behind it? Because I think we've been talking a little bit about the optimism, but there was something, and I can't quite like quantify it or like point to it. But there was, comparing it to Superman, there were certain moments in Superman where it's just like I felt it hit me, like the aspiration and the hope kind of hit me on a certain level where it just like
Superman felt more personal. Is what I would say. Superman felt more personal to me for a number of different reasons. But Superman made me feel a really particular way, really close to home, where the things about Fantastic Four felt more community based, with the exception of Reed Richards as a dad and like Sue Storms as a mother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those two interpersonal relationship things, those two really hit close to home for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But like the community as a whole in this particular movie was a lot more nice than the community as a whole in Superman.
They weren't throwing cans at the Fantastic
world,
Four.
yeah.
They were. I mean, they were kind of like, hey, it's one baby versus one world. Let's do the math here.
You kind of understand. Other people have babies too.
I got a family
Absolutely.
too, man.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think the response was a lot more elegant as well. You know what I mean?
Well, the moment of her bringing out the baby and being like, we're not just gonna like fucking like roll over and die. Like we're gonna do something about it, you fucking idiots. It's like we're not gonna just sacrifice our baby just because that was the first thing that was asked of us. Like, oh yeah, we didn't really like the baby anyway. He's weird. He's got the power cosmic running through him, man. We don't know about that shit. Or at least Galactus says he does. We don't know about that. The tests are inconclusive. We're not seeing anything. He just seems like a normal baby. But emotionally,
I cried twice in Superman. Like, not cried, not like I didn't weep.
Yeah,
but I got like, teary-eyed twice in Superman.
You like felt it.
I didn't.
Did you feel like?
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I feel like the dialogue was maybe a little sharper and more pointed in Superman, where it kind of felt like a lot of it was like Lex is very personally directed at Superman, and Superman's kind of going back at Lex, and so it kind of just felt like this whole like I feel it in my bones, like the passion behind like all the speeches and everything that's giving, or just like in like the I don't know. I guess it's sort of like. The connection between Superman and Lois felt very like authentic and genuine, and like the dynamic felt just sort of witty and bantery, and like this to me didn't quite have the same sort of panache to the conversations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say like I do think there's a genuine connection between Reed and Sue that I felt. But I didn't see it quite as much on screen, like radiating off the screen.
It's like energy and broad strokes in Fantastic Four, and then it's like a real good soup in Fantastic Four,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then it's like
the substance.
It's like a real good fucking ribeye in Superman. Both have their own place. Both are very good, and
I do think that for me it sunk in a little bit more on a second viewing. Like I do think that like it felt a little bit more lived in, and like oh yeah, these are two married people having a kid, and like
I felt those vibes thoroughly.
No, I mean I felt it the first time, but I felt it more the second time is what I would say.
Did it draw a tear or anything the second time?
I think just like how fiercely protective Sue was. I don't know if it drew a tear, but I think it kind of tugged at the old heartstrings, if that makes sense.
I think I cried.
Like,
I think I got teary-eyed once in Fantastic Four and twice in Superman.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I think for me, for Fantastic Four particularly, it was just, like Reed can't help but think, well, what if we did just give up the baby? Like, what does that look like?
It has to entertain. It has to enter his mind.
And Sue obviously is kind of betrayed by that thought, but she knows Reed. She understands that like that's where his mind is going to go, and and it's. I think that was like a really interesting thing of just I don't know, just the little things like there's this. We'll talk about the sequence more, I'm sure, but there's a bit where the Silver Surfer kind of flies into the ship and like is trying to like maybe literally take Franklin out of the womb, and and doesn't happen, and then Sue is just like, Johnny, kill her, just straight up like fucking murder her. I don't want to see her again. I don't want to see that bitch in my face ever again. She tried to steal my fucking kid, and like that's the sort of stuff that like, man, Sue is like fucking intense in some ways, but like, just I mean, she's loyal and like she's a protective mother,
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I just those are the qualities that like they're family, and like they're a family that sticks together, and and they're not the traditional family, but they work together. Like they're really those are the things that stuck out to me, like in terms of like the emotionality of this movie. Like again, more so on a second viewing, where it's just like, no, this is a family. Mm-hmm. Like I can buy into this being a family. I can buy into Sue and Reed as a couple. I can buy into what is it like having a new kid, and you're the smartest man on earth, and your wife is a fucking badass, like those things worked really well. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of really all I think I have to say on that. I could go in circles, but
I think it was really interesting to see Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm was constantly kind of like vying for like, I wouldn't say necessarily approval, but recognition at least.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a common thread. I feel like it would. I feel like it was from the Fantastic Fours I grew up on. I feel like, he's constant, like, I don't know, he's recognized as like, it almost seems like he's always a womanizer.
He's the
hot shot.
Hothead, yeah.
But
cool guy.
Like, hey, like I got a good brain too. I can do these things, and I can, I can be an important member of the team, and blah 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 blah. So I thought that was interesting. It was definitely a good thread to pull on. And I really enjoyed Ben too. Like he's a member of like the team and society, and he like walks the streets and this and that, and he's nice, and he like, plays with the kids or whatever, you know what I mean? But he's always kind of like, it always felt like he was kind of like on the outskirts a little bit, and watching him kind of explore a potential relationship with somebody in the movie was interesting too. There's a lot of heartfelt things that happen in this movie, and I feel like they're more nuanced. They're not necessarily like in your face like in the Superman movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
but I don't think that diminishes the value. I think they're well done, with the exception of one mole man. I'm not. Okay. I'm not a fucking fan of the Mole Man.
All right, I loved Mole Man. So.
All right, here we go.
I legitimately loved Mole Man. Yeah. Everything about the performance in the Mole Man and the like antagonism, and he only listens to Sue, but he hates Reed. Like that all checks out. Incredible.
So.
Pro Mole Man.
I like how Mole Man, like in time of need, like our planet's going to be eaten, and this is what we need to do. Yeah, no problem. I'll do it. Send Reed out here.
Subterranea.
Yeah, send Reed out here. Like that.
Yeah,
that was fine. I get it. That's funny. I don't know.
Mole Man's such a silly villain that like you can't take a serious Mole Man. Like you can't do like it has to be this kind of like silly over the top character, because or else it's just like too weird. And
you can get
it was
that
just a
character
fun,
can get
like,
too dark sometimes, and it's just like,
yeah.
oh, this is weird and creepy, and like, we need
like
to.
I love the way they did Mole Man, and the fact that they even like got Mole Man in this, like such an obscure
That's
villain.
fun.
Like this is kind of digging deep in the well, and on like paying homage to the 60s and those kind of original stories. Certainly,
I'm gonna say I'm neutral Mole Man. I mean, kind of minimal inclusion here. You know, it serves a little bit of a role. Paul Walter Hauser, I'm not the biggest fan of. He just does the same thing in every movie, and I think it works better in something like this than in some other things. But the reason I'm really neutral is because in my mind, there's only one actor that should have portrayed Mole Man, and it's Danny fucking DeVito.
Fucking Danny DeVito. That would change things entirely.
And I think that it would have been fine. Like, it wouldn't have been too silly.
Hey, Mr. Reed.
I just think he would have fucking nailed it in a way that, like, would have been so funny. You know, it's just a missed opportunity. And it sucks because it's like Matt Shagman, like, he was done so much on Always Sunny. Like, he's got a Danny DeVito connection. Hey,
Danny, you want to play Mole Man?
Maybe they asked, and Danny was like, "Play what?
The fuck's wrong with you? What are you trying to say? Do I have to wear the glasses?" That's probably what he asked.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to wear them.
They could CGI on him, you know, like that one time
Paint
that
him on.
Wesley Snipes refused to open his eyes for a scene in Blade Trinity, so they CGI'd his eyes open. They could have done that.
Can we talk about Galactus?
Yeah, let's.
Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds,
And like everything Galactus.
I thought it was fucking
I kind of
sick.
prefer him as a cloud person.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The
The cloud's
what's
classic.
more menacing than a cloud?
But a cloud. But maybe sometimes we'll see a little silhouette. Oh, maybe that's a little Galactus helmet. So he's in there somewhere, but otherwise he's just a big cloud guy.
Yeah, clouds are scary, man. You've been around.
Yeah,
outside.
they can fuck you up. You know, yeah, for sure. Rain comes out sometimes. Horrible.
Squirt, squirt.
I like Galactus here was fucking awesome. I thought, you know, this
looks so
this
cool.
is finally like, you know, no clouds, no bullshit, just fucking big purple man. You know, muted purple. It's not too comic booky, but it's big purple man.
They fucking
and
owned it. It's so
and Ralph
cool.
Einstein, I knew from the moment they cast
that
that
voice
man
is
that he would be
deep.
fucking perfect for Galactus. And
I was
to me,
pumped.
the design, the characterization, like his dialogue particularly, like, I was once little like you, you know, just like shit. Like, I'm
It's
just like, oh, this
shit.
fucking guy. You know, it truly conveyed just a fucking eternal being, cosmic being that has just been around for, you know, an amount of time that humans can't process. And it's just like, I hunger, you know, just I don't know, just it was so fucking cool. Especially, I mean, that first scene where they go to find him on his ship and they like kind of
That
talk
was
to
incredible.
him. That whole sequence from them leaving Earth, you know, flying through, and they go into this thing, you know, they do some Star Wars shit. They dock into the FTL, you know, fucking ring thing so they can, you know, travel faster through light. And I'm like, all right, there was some cool shit in the Guardians where they did like the hexagon hopping sort of thing. This was the coolest fucking space travel that we've ever seen in Marvel. Like, unlike anything we've ever seen. Then they go to this, the fucking planet's blown up when they get there. Shit's crazy.
He's devouring it.
Dude, when they're going around the black hole.
Stop. We haven't even
They're
got
like
that
on
far.
the ring. And like that was so cool. That was one of my favorite
ditched her
parts
in
of
the
whole
they
movie.
ditched the oh man, we haven't even talked about the fucking Silver Surfer.
Yeah, they're just like, we're just gonna push her into time dilation and buy some time.
Fuck.
And we're just like, what the?
What's happening? It's so
What?
cool.
It's like Interstellar all over again.
Yeah, that's like 15-20 minutes, like the middle of the movie. It's probably the high point of the movie.
This is my high point. It's so fucking cool.
It's so fucking cool. It was so cool. And there was nothing about that entire sequence that I wasn't wowed by, because it's them getting there, the planet's getting blown up, then they have this whole dialogue with Galactus, and it's like there's this intrigue that's kind of building to like,
We haven't seen him yet. We haven't heard him yet. And then he shows up, and the fucking eyes light up.
He's
and
just
shit,
fucking
and
sitting there. He's just sitting there on his
He's
throne.
just sitting there. He's got these tubes fucking attached to him, and it's just massive on this crazy scale. And it's just like, oh my God. And like, you know, like that's the Fantastic Four fan in me that's just like, those sons of bitches. They gave us Galactus. We finally got him. It's been however many years it's been.
The audacity of the Fantastic Four, the cojones. Okay. This guy comes over.
Can we
he's
just,
like,
can we
Silver
just,
Surfer.
all right, let's just go punch him.
Let's just
punch
go
him
say
out, you know?
hi,
We'll talk to
you
him. Let's
know?
go punch him out if he's small enough that we can just punch him out. We'll do
I
it.
would take your child. Give me your child.
I'm like, yeah, no, fuck you. You know, we're leaving. You know, and they zip off his cords. They blast off the tubes coming out of his neck and shit. And he gets pissed. It's so good.
And then he kind of just does a Thanos thing where he like waits it out, and then Silver Surfer goes.
He's got his
and
herald
hunts
to
him down.
take care of business. She's
She's
pretty badass.
She's
man.
taking care of
she's-
business.
She knows
they
what she's
like
doing.
they get back in the faster than light like portal, and they're like, all right, we're good. And then she's like, no, she just gets right up in there and is chasing them like
Holy
it
shit,
kind
he's
of
in, like,
reminds me of
turns
some of the
out
Star Wars sequences.
She can surf faster than light, and oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm 8.5 or 9 months pregnant. Things are happening right now, and this
we gotta do it.
this event is
Throwing me into fucking labor. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So you've got a faster than light escape. You know, Ben and Johnny are. Well, Johnny's trying to shoot her, right, at some point, you know. Like, it's just everyone's doing their own fucking thing. Reed's stretching while he's next to Sue to, like, you know, like, let's, you know, figure this shit out.
Incredible
It's just,
sequence.
it's, like, kind of, like, chaotic in the best sort of way possible, where they're, you know, we got a slingshot from a fucking neutron star. I don't know what that means, man, but it sounds cool as hell. And, you know, let's trap her in this, and then with the time dilation, it'll give us enough time that we can make it back to Earth. But then Sue's giving fucking birth at the same time. Like, holy shit. It's fucking peak. And it is kind of peak for the movie, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good.
But man, that whole sequence was top tier shit. Like, if the whole movie was that, it would be peak MCU.
Incredible. Yeah, it would be tip of the top.
You know, and like, that's not really feasible for most movies, obviously. But like, man, that alone was so... Oh, that stuff gave me chills both times. Like, that was to stand out after viewing one. It's what I looked forward to in viewing two, you know, and I appreciated the other stuff from viewing two, but I was really looking forward to all that and just seeing it. And I just, that whole sequence is so well done. So well done.
I really enjoyed, Silver Surfer coming down and talking to Johnny.
The connection between Johnny and Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I thought that whole bit was pretty cool. Yeah.
That was cool.
And I enjoyed
decoding the language and everything.
I thought that was really interesting. I'm hoping that happens in Hail Mary. I hope there's a point where we can start to understand Rocky. Anyways, I'm starting to bleed, but the big thing I was going to talk about was when Galactus arrives at Earth.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought that was pretty well done too. I really enjoyed that bit.
Yeah, I did too. It sounds like, Henrique, you were a little less
like, it was cool,
but
it was just like seeing him in space versus seeing him on Earth. It kind of felt
a little different. I mean,
not quite as grand.
He's kind of just kaijuing about in the third act, and like, there's some really good stuff. Like, he, you know, takes Reed and, you know, clearly can't stretch too much. Otherwise, he.
That was so uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, that was rough. He throws Ben into space, quite literally. You know, like everyone's just kind of an insect to him at that point, except for one fucking invisible woman who conjures the greatest of mom strength, mom energy, and like kind of solos Galactus into a portal, which is fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I there's a lot of memes. I guess there's a whole SpongeBob thing about teleportation that people are like, the, you know, Reed's whole fucking idea of transporting the Earth is basically something that Patrick Star came up with at some point. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen it enough that I can't really speak to that.
But I did enjoy that, like the kooky schemes that he's just like, we'll just teleport the Earth, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Like, okay, all right, let's see how this works. And it doesn't work. All right, we'll bring him in. We'll just trap him on the other side of the Earth. Like, yeah, that could work, and it does work. Like, Sue fucking quite literally kills herself to make this happen, pushing him through the portal, and then it doesn't work because he's just like, I'm Galactus. I am a fucking infinite being of, infinite cosmic strength. You can push me, but I can still make my way through the portal. I just thought all of that. I don't know that I was as in love. I don't know that I loved the third act. I mean, what I will say, and this is kind of a separate conversation that maybe needs to happen after we talk about what actually happened, was I thought the third act was going to go very differently coming into this movie, right? I think there was definitely a version of this movie that I thought the Fantastic Four are going to lose in a big, big, bad way, and that's going to bring them to Earth 616 or whatever the hell the MCU is calling themselves in terms of whatever that Earth is. So
yeah, that's true.
That didn't happen.
That could happen.
That didn't happen. What we did get was Galactus being quote unquote defeated, but not because suddenly the Fantastic Four can defeat this cosmic being, but because they can do enough to just push him into a portal to get him away from Earth 828. And then again, that scheme doesn't really work either because it's really only the Silver Surfer's betrayal that actually kind of seals the deal, where she obviously has kind of, I guess, been imbued with the same type of cosmic power that he has. And so she has the strength to actually be like, no, I will push you through. I liked the third act stuff personally. Like Galactus is not a character that can be beaten in a traditional sense. And I think I appreciated that this movie didn't make him feel like
less than,
like a bitch. They didn't make, like he didn't really go out like a bitch. Like he kind of got shocked by the fact that like Sue clearly had more strength than she realized. But I appreciated on the other side of that, like how fucking badass it made Sue. Like in terms of like, we've never,
she's
like,
imbued with the same powers, right?
Like she makes a force field in the old ones and then she has a nosebleed and she passes out. And it's like, here she's obviously showing off the grandest scale of this, of being able to push this cosmic being, down a street into a portal, but it takes so much effort and exertion that it literally kills her. Like it's, it's pretty crazy. And I kind of figured there would be some sort of shenanigans of reviving her, so I wasn't totally shocked. I don't know if I quite predicted that, little Franklin be the one to do it. Like there was a few different versions of this where I figured, well, the Silver Surfer is going to come back. It's a classic Fantastic Four thing of the Silver Surfer betrays Galactus. I thought, I don't know, man, maybe Franklin's a little Deus Ex Machina and he's going to fucking step up and fuck Galactus over with the power cosmic. I don't know. The way it played out particularly, though, I thought was generally satisfying and like worked for like the versions of these characters we got. Like I thought Silver Surfer's betrayal kind of made sense. The stuff with her and Johnny really kind of, it was generally subtle, I think, in the sense that like it wasn't like a beat you over the head like you but like it was like a reminding her of her lost humanity in this sort of way of being like, listen to these recordings. Like I thought that was really well done, and it wasn't a scene of her stewing around in space thinking I must betray Galactus. It's just like she kind of just comes in at the last minute, and that's that. So I don't know. I just thought that the third act stuff did work for me. That's the last thing I'll ramble about for now.
I think the subtlety is generally good. I thought that not necessarily they needed to be more explicit with things, but potentially by making this movie so short and so breezy, they probably cut out a lot of things. And there's times where I'm like, I feel like there were some things cut out from here. I mean, there was a whole bit about, not necessarily for plot or like substance reasons, but like John Malkovich was in this for a bit.
What role did he play?
He was
the Red Ghost. He was
one of the villains. Yes,
so
he was the Red Ghost.
There's like a little bit in the beginning where Reed's fighting an ape, and so he has a group of super apes. So he's the leader of the super apes. So I think he probably would have been in some sort of action sequence at the beginning. And I will say, this is a movie that's under 2 hours. I think this movie is missing a little bit of an action sequence to set up the movie. I think that there's a lot of, like, it's not an origin movie, which I appreciated, but it is very much like
here's the Fantastic Four, and here's a little bit about the spacey times, and then they've got a new kid, so here's a montage of the place being baby proofed, and it's like 20 minutes of montagey type stuff. And I think that there's some stuff in that's really cool. Like you see Johnny Storm like puts out a big fire, and that's like a cool like little 1 minute thing. But I think having like a little 5 to 10 minute sort of sequence of them in action at the beginning, I think kind of could have helped with the pacing and didn't give a little bit more excitement to the beginning. But anyway, again, I'm stepping in.
I think adding things like that, I thought, even though I liked Ben Grimm in this, like I thought some of his stuff must have been cut just because
there wasn't a lot of payoff there.
Him.
No payoff.
Yeah, it's just like they're like teasing this like relationship and like the humanity behind him after the transformation, but it kind of doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Like between him and the school teacher at the synagogue, it's just kind of like there, but like there seemed like something was cut there. Like there clearly was more to
like
that storyline that
the humanity and characterization of what we got, but it didn't necessarily amount to anything other than just kind of showing a little bit of a different side of Ben than we see when he's I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. Say it. It's clobbering time.
Yeah, I think stuff like that. It was just like maybe it was just a few things that were missing that kept this from being the perfect Fantastic Four movie that I wanted.
Yeah, I agree. It's
The bar was set very low, so I'm pretty happy.
It cleared the bar,
right? So it's like,
but I think.
You could continue to aim higher.
Yes, there's definitely a way to make this movie better than it already is. I don't, and maybe there's another cut of this movie with footage. And I think, people have asked like Matt Shackman, like, will we see some of that? We know stuff was cut, we know John Malkovich isn't in this. And he said like a lot of that stuff, like the effects isn't finished. So probably not, you probably won't see it. So I do think there's probably a 2 hour and 10 minute version of this that maybe gives it a little bit more depth and stuff like that. Maybe there's an extra action sequence. Like to me, I think I would have liked that better, but I also, I'm not mad at a movie that's under 2 hours that packs in a lot, and I think does do it effectively. I just think that I could have appreciated more. I didn't need it, but I think it could have benefited from it. Like, especially for me, the first 20, 30 minutes, it felt pretty zippy, and not in a bad way. It keeps things moving, and then Silver Surfer comes in and I herald blah blah blah, like all that, like it happens fairly early on, and it kind of moves, I think, from that point at a pretty good clip. But it just kind of felt like there was a lot of exposition that they really tried to pack into that early bit of the movie that I think could have had a little bit more space to breathe, and I think it could have worked better for me personally. And
I really enjoyed how Silver Surfer kind of, like, they showed her backstory a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed the symbolism of her, like, stepping into her role. How, like, the board is her, The board is her.
But it's not part of her, though. It's separate.
So it's totally separate. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
actually
exactly.
Separate,
yeah.
So you have to remember that it's not part of her.
Yeah, but I enjoyed that too. That was really good. I really enjoyed the Silver Surfer. I actually think that I don't know. I just didn't. I really enjoyed a female Silver Surfer, to be honest. I think
it worked.
Really
It's tough because, like, the Silver Surfer in that Fantastic Four movie that we got wasn't a bad Silver Surfer. Like, so it wasn't like a character that was like totally botched beyond recognition in the way that Galactus was in that movie, where like just seeing a Galactus that's a big purple spaceman was like, that fact alone in this movie makes a world of a difference. Like here, I kind of appreciated that they did something different with Silver Surfer because it's different than what we'd seen before. And I would say better. I think that we do see the little sliver of her backstory. There's not a ton there. Like, I think her characterization it's more subtle, like the first thing that she says to Johnny when he follows her up to space, like there's clear that there's some personality there, but she's resigned to serve. And I think that it's generally kind of subtle, her characterization, but the way that she moves and like just her impact on the movie, like it's a little bit just kind of like, I don't know, man, she's fucking cool. Like she's just really cool in the way that they made, like they depicted her character.
It's maternal too.
But yeah, sure.
That was some of the stuff that she, the reason why she stepped into that role was to protect her kid, right?
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
In her planet.
Yeah. Zen law. But yeah, I think that although her characterization isn't like
front and center.
like there could have been a 5-minute version of that flashback, and I kind of did think, I was like, oh man, are we going to get like a full Norin Rad, like what if casting sort of thing of, here's a version where Shalabal was the one that became the Silver Surfer, and here's this casting for Norin Rad, and it's left a little bit more subtle than that. It's not, it doesn't give you the full backstory. There's a whole thing that could be done, but it's enough there that it's just like you did what you needed to do, but at what cost, and is it worth it to keep doing this thing? And I to me, that all worked pretty well, I would say, and that's very classic Silver Surfer. Like, you think you're trying to redirect this cosmic being to protect your planet, to save others from this fate. But ultimately Galactus must feed. And when Galactus comes to Earth, you're talking about billions of people that are, facing extinction, and
it's impossible. What an impossible fucking choice. You think about it, wouldn't you?
So,
it's fucking impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God we don't have to worry about Galactus.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I haven't said it, but
now,
shout out to Julia Garner, who I thought was just really, really, really good.
She was great.
Yeah, for sure.
Like embodied the physicality, and I think just like it's not this is not an emotional character by design. But I think, it takes a bit of talent to still infuse the personality into that character. And I guess she sheds a tear a little bit towards the end. And, again, so you see
and
a little bit of that.
And she's not attached to that board. You know what I'm saying?
She's not. No, it's true. It's been confirmed, definitively.
It's about to
Johnny
say
Storm,
that body
scientist.
is not attached to that board. That sounded weird, so I couldn't say that.
That sounds weirder.
Apologize about that.
All right. Well, I gotta give a special shout out before we probably wrap
Don't
things
say
up in
fucking
spoilers.
Mole Man.
I get a special shout out to a special shout out to Herbie.
Oh yeah,
Herbie, man.
Herbie.
Oh, Herbie.
was good.
Herbie's maybe the unsung hero of the whole movie.
Yeah.
I love the
Herbie's doing this
fucking
thing.
tape deck design. Like, hey, like you're
It was such a cool
you're
design.
like home mode. I'm gonna put a fucking like spaceship mode in you with the tape deck. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So
very,
cool.
very, very cool.
Taking care of things at home, taking care of babies, space travel, all your needs. It's Herbie.
Herbie's cooking, cleaning. What can Herbie do?
Yeah. Well, protect Franklin apparently, but
I'll take a Herbie. No one can protect Franklin. That's not fair.
From Galactus, probably in other circumstances,
Yeah,
he
exactly.
he could probably protect him from Mole Man, for instance.
Clever insects.
Yeah.
Clever little bugs.
Yeah, that's what it was. Clever little bugs.
Oh man, so fucking cool.
It was
all right.
So fucking cool. Really, very much enjoyed it.
Great audio design, which is to say, Ralph Fiennes just has the most amazing speaking voice.
Iconic.
So it's really not even audio design. It's just put him near a microphone and the audio design just works. Does he have a podcast? I would listen to that man's podcast. Just him interviewing people. Just the
audience.
The beautiful rumble of it. That would be so good. I think I'm out of spoilery things other than perhaps a mid-credit sequence.
Post-credits? Yeah, mid-credits, post-credits.
Post-credits is a little less impactful. Mid-credits maybe a little bit more, setting up what we will be seeing in the near future, aka in 2026. But, I like the post-credits. There's I think maybe I said this with the Superman episode. I can't remember. But, people get mad that they stay in the last little things, the funny little scene. But, it's a little cartoon intro. It's fun. I liked it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. It's good fun. It's like the Spider-Man Homecoming one where patience, it was just that's a
really
fucking
funny.
classic,
That's really
just trolling your audience, but in the best way possible. Now, the mid-credit sequence is kind of the big one, and it's interesting because, you know, the way this movie ends doesn't end with the big disaster with the Fantastic Four fleeing their Earth and arriving and the Thunderbolts being like, who the fuck are these shitheads? You know, that's not really addressed in this movie, so that's clearly a doomsday thing that's going to be happening. But in terms of doomsday setup, we've seen what appears to be our first introduction of Doctor Doom.
Fuck
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, it's so
and
good.
this mid-credit sequence. So what'd you guys think?
He doesn't want to show up to
the UN.
and Future Foundation meeting.
I saw
true,
that
and
shit.
some Latveria shit. Yeah, that's true.
Latveria will do its own thing.
I saw that absentee thing.
Yep, he wasn't there, but he's here to hang out with slightly older Franklin. Says Power Cosmic. Thank you very much. That sounds good to me.
Sue looks pissed.
Well, you know, she's rather protective of her kid. She's trying to read a fucking story, and then this asshole in a green cloak shows up.
Oh man. Yeah. I hope whatever movie we get starts with that interaction. Because I imagine she's gonna be
Sue immediately just gonna throw him out a window.
Yeah, she's clearly been established. Like, don't fuck with my kid.
I think so. I really think so. Yeah, I think it'll be really good. Yeah.
I have a bad feeling about what could happen to Franklin.
Tell me, what do you think?
Oh boy,
as our Marvel resident expert.
So I'll put it on the podcast now just in case it happens, but who knows where they're going with this. But clearly we're going towards a Secret Wars eventually, right? And you need some kind of ultimate power to create like a battle world and all these, join all these different universes together. So I got a bad feeling that Franklin Richards might be that piece. Okay. Like he almost might be like a MacGuffin like he was in this film, but just with all his future powers. Like in the comics, it was I think it was Molecule Man, but just you just basically take a character that's super powerful and Doom uses their power to become like the not the God Emperor, that's Dune, but the
probably close to the same.
God, yeah. What's his name? He's some kind of god.
Is it
God something Doom?
Is it? I think it. Maybe it is God Emperor.
Is it God Emperor? Because I'm like, that's definitely from Dune.
I mean, I think it is, but you know,
but he becomes the essentially the god of all the universes.
I think it is God Emperor Doom. So maybe that was
okay. So maybe it is God Emperor Doom.
So. Yeah.
So it's Doom, but instead of being draped in green, he's draped in white.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Oh,
so we're gonna see some shenanigans, and I feel like Doomsday could be the start of that.
Okay.
And maybe how he ends up with Franklin.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, it makes sense.
I want a good Doom. I just want an imposing, incredibly villainous Doom. I want a Doom that will stretch Reed Richards, you know, and make him scream. I want a nasty Doom. That's what I want.
Yeah.
We don't know a nasty Doom. We don't know, you know, just a complete, like Reed Richards, but without the...
With the opposite.
Yeah, just without Sue.
The other side, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Reed Richards without Sue.
Yeah, the other side.
You know, I don't know. I think it's frightening, and it's. I think that's. I don't know. I think it could be incredibly compelling. I think it'd be very good. So I guess we'll see what we get with Robert Downey Jr. God damn it! Can't we find somebody else?
Greatest actor on earth. So apparently not. You can't go any.
Damn it! I disagree. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean he's great, but yeah, we've already seen. him.
So my thinking, I feel like I probably would have said this when it was first revealed Comic-Con last year or whatever it was. You know, you either do it two ways. You do it number one, V for Vendetta style, where mask on everything. It's just voiceover, and it's, you know, he's a chameleon, so you really can't even tell it's RDJ. In which case, why are you paying him $100 million or whatever stupid amount they're paying?
Right.
So I don't think that's what's happening, and I say that because in our literal first look at this motherfucker's holding his mask in his hand. So that one's out the window. It's not happening. The number two is like, there's got to be a story reason for it. Because if there's not a story reason for it, then it's just fucking stupid. Then there's no reason for it whatsoever.
Right.
And if there is a story reason for it, it better be a damn good one. is what I'll say, because otherwise it feels very hokey, and it still feels hokey, and I'm getting a little bit more excited because I'm just excited to see an Avengers movie, and I'm excited to see Doctor Doom as a character. But
they have to make him super compelling.
I don't want him to be Tony Stark, but evil. But I want there to be a reason why his face looks like Tony Stark. And maybe that's because he's gotten Franklin to make him look like Tony Stark to earn the trust of the Avengers. I don't know. Some bullshit. Whatever it is. Something along those lines. Or it's just he's a multiversal variant and he happens to look like Tony Stark. I don't know. Like, what is it? What's the
It's
deal?
a world of possibilities. It could be awesome.
But give me a satisfying explanation.
And based off Thunderbolts,
don't do that just because Robert Downey Jr. is a popular actor in these movies and he's going to make you a lot of money.
I don't think they will.
I know that's a reason that you would want to do it, but I think I think I put more faith in audiences to be like, yeah, but he's Iron Man. Like, why the fuck is he this guy too? Like, people should be questioning that. And if you can't answer that question of like, why is Iron Man the bad guy now, then you fucked it. So I'm still worried that they, don't have a totally satisfying explanation.
We've gotten two good movies this summer, or not this summer, but this year.
Marvel's on the right track, right? We think maybe we're back in business. We've got Spider-Man, we've got some interesting things going on with that. Then we've got those Avengers movies, and it's like they're taking a little bit of a step back where there's not 50 billion Disney Plus shows coming out. Like, obviously they did dump Ironheart, but they filmed that like 30 years ago.
I did watch an episode of that the animated one. That's pretty fucking good.
The Wakanda one?
It made Bennett cry. It made Bennett cry, which is I'm not gonna say that was cool, but it was pretty intense.
Yeah, is that a good thing?
We can talk about that in catching up, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. Just give me a good fucking Doctor Doom. I think we all agree on that, right? It's
good
not a hot take.
Doom.
It's not a
I
crazy
want
ask.
mean Doctor Doom. That's what I want.
Like a menacing, ugly, just like...
I wanted to represent everything I go to theaters to avoid. And I want everything that's combating him to represent everything I go to theaters to get. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. That's what I want anyways.
This credit scene did not do enough to tell me one way or another whether I should.
It was
feel
literally
good
just
about the
like, there's
direction.
Doom.
It's
He's there.
It's the littlest of teases and nothing of the real design or characterization to really go off of.
Right before Sue throws him out the fucking window.
She's going to defenestrate that.
Kill him, Johnny.
I'll do it myself. Fine. I'll do it myself. Force fill out the window. Good stuff. All right. Any final thoughts on the Fantastic Four first steps?
Good first steps. Let's see the next ones.
Yeah. The next steps. Fantastic Four, the next steps.
Second steps.
Second steps. Third steps. That'll be good. That'll be very good. Okay. Well, what's everyone been up to? Anything fun and interesting? Henrique, let's kick it over to you first, since obviously we haven't heard from you since Thunderbolts. You've listened to Project Hail Mary. We do know that.
I have.
What other things
everyone should
have you maybe been up to?
check it out. So I was such a big fan of that I started The Martian.
Okay.
See, there's a movie about it, but I hadn't read or listened to the book, so I'm like, let me get on that. So it's been pretty good so far. It's it's distinctly different from Project Hail Mary in a sense of it's more focused on the one character, and it's interesting because in interviews, Andy Weir's talked about how he modeled in his first two books the characters more a little bit on himself.
Okay.
And in his third book, Project Hail Mary, he really wanted to create like a brand new character. So Rylan Grace is like completely different than he is, and so it's interesting. I can certainly see the science fiction element part of it, but I'm still working through that. But I try to find time to do things. Obviously, watch Superman. We watched it together. I was a big fan of that, and
yes,
helped me. Also, got to thank you for helping us get the Switch 2, the new Nintendo console. So it
had a couple pre-orders.
Became the perfect. it became the perfect opportunity to get back into Tears of the Kingdom.
Nice.
Since they did like
Join
the packages, the Switch 2 re-release or whatever.
Right. Looks better,
but
runs better, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And we got to thank Andrew Meadows too, because the Nintendo Family Plan it was included in that. Yep. So Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, all that. So that was much appreciated. But I think ultimately it gets me into the usual anime section. So
get some anime recommendations on deck.
So because that's really the only other thing that I've been watching, other than the few superhero movies and this and that. So I don't think this technically counts as an anime, because this is more of like a American and Korean Western production, but it's certainly caught the world by storm with a couple songs in general. But have you seen KPop Demon Hunters on Netflix?
It's big on Netflix. I haven't. I mean, I've seen it as I've scrolled through Netflix, but I haven't watched any of it. But it seems to be blowing up.
It's
quite
big,
bit.
man. It's been like in the top 10 of Netflix for a while. It's quite fun of a movie. It's from Sony Animation, so similar vibes to kind of Spider-Verse and such. Probably this one is, I guess they're both geared towards kids. It's just I'm a big Spider-Man person, but this one certainly, the songs are big and so popular. Like you've probably heard the song. Like as soon as some of the songs started playing in the movie, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this. It's the Soda Pop song in particular. Is Bennett all about the Soda Pop song, Andrew? Or
not that I know of. I don't know of a Soda Pop song. No. How's that Soda Pop song go?
No, it's a good song. It's the 5 demon pop stars who are singing the Soda Pop song. Super catchy.
He knows nothing of the Soda Pop song.
It'll get stuck in your head so fast. If he was like 3 years older, he would definitely be in the Soda Pop song. I can guarantee.
Is this the K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, all the children in Sarah's class, she's day 2.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And she's like,
it's all about
Miss Meadows,
K-pop.
You need to watch K-pop Demon Slayer.
Yeah, she should.
And she goes,
watch K-pop
is it
Demon
anime?
Hunters. It's not. So it's animated.
That's what the kid said.
Technically,
the kid said it's animated. And she was,
these kids are smart. I gotta give them credit.
They know what's up.
No, it's fun. Honestly, like check it out. It's like an hour and 30, and it's all about like K-pop idols and fighting demons, and
that's
a
cool.
lot of catchy songs. But it's a fun time. I would recommend it.
Number 1 on the Netflix involved. Or whatever.
Right. It's been huge. So, but that's the K-pop side in terms of hard anime or whatever you want to call it. But the true anime. I introduced you to Dandadan.
Yes, yeah, when you were down last time, yeah.
Oh man, you gotta keep going on that. That's on Netflix as well. Season 2 is out, and that's probably my number 1 anime on TV right now. This is a good summer for anime. I feel like everything that had a season 1 is now having a season 2. So this summer for some reason. So I'm still trying to catch up.
Where are we at on Hero Academia? That's done.
So they're on the last season. I'm 1 season behind, but the manga's finished and the anime is currently in its last season.
Okay, so if I continue
that's
where I
finishing
left
up
off
soon.
On that 5 years ago or whatever, I should be able to finish that in time.
Oh, yeah, you could like binge through it, certainly. And that's a good one, especially if you're in the superhero kind of like X-Men anime.
Yeah, it's a good one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Especially that first scene, it was so good. Demon Hunter. Demon
Hunters, the movie's coming out. I hear it's already out in Japan or coming out very soon in Japan. It's doing like gangbusters.
It was very good. The IMAX trailer.
It's gonna be pretty awesome. I haven't read the manga. Eastling has, and they're basically splitting the last major arc into 3 movies. So it's gonna be, I don't know if it's part 1, part 2, part 3, or how the story splits up, but it's gonna be 3 big movies to end the whole series.
Okay.
But the last season was pretty incredible. So Haven't seen that, so I can't necessarily recommend it, but I'm sure it'll be good. One that we really liked. So this one's called Call of the Night. This is about vampires.
Oh,
so
I like
feel
vampires.
Vampires are having a big year. So this changes up the vampire lore a little bit because not only do you have to get bitten or bit by a vampire to turn into a vampire, you also have to fall in love with the vampire that bit you.
Okay.
To become a vampire.
So they're like
So-
seducing people to like make it happen, or like how does that? How does that
Kind
work
of.
out?
Fuck
The
yeah, they
main
are. They're
characters-
fucking vampires. They're seducing the fuck out of them.
So just remember, this is all Japan, so the characters are all like, you know,
They're
14 or
12? Yeah,
15
okay,
or whatever.
Right on. Yep. Of
So,
course.
but
But are they 12?
This,
but look like 12, but it's the vampires that looks like 12, but they're actually
Yeah.
100 years old or
They're
whatever.
much older. Yes.
yeah, which probably makes it worse, to be
Yeah,
honest.
you're right. That doesn't
when you
help.
think
I take
about
it all back.
so-
No, forget I asked. Forget I asked. We can keep going. Let's not think about it.
but it's pretty cute. It's the main character is this kid who like gets, I don't know, like loses, like he doesn't want to go to school anymore. He kind of just like wants to, he's like trying to find meaning in life in a sense, and he feels like a freedom that comes with just being out at night, which is kind of interesting. And he meets this vampire, and she like can fly, can do all these vampire things, and she is just she symbolizes like freedom and liberation, like so he wants to become a vampire. So he knows nothing about romance or anything, but he is determined that he's going to fall in love with her because he wants to become a vampire. So, and then obviously like you learn more about the vampire world and like,
what it is to
can
be a
you just turn
vampire,
people into
right.
vampire, and what are the other vampires doing? Are there vampire hunters in this world? Maybe. So that's a pretty fun one. It's on a weird streaming service. It's called High Dive.
What the fuck is
So it's
High
not
Dive?
like the Crunchyroll. it's just a different like anime
Another
streaming
one?
service. So yeah, there's other ones. So if you want to do, you could honestly binge that one and do like a 7-day trial and just get through it. But season 2 just came out, so you might want to keep it. We're gonna just do another month and then try to watch most of it. There's some other stuff on it too. I'll probably save for a different one just because I want to get on things that I actually finished. Other one, I think this one might be up your alley. I don't know if you've seen on Netflix Delicious in Dungeon.
I've heard of it.
If it's come across, but this is it's quite good. So it's a very D&D based. Like it's all about like adventurers going in a dungeon, but
Okay.
in the dungeon they fight monsters and they run out of food. So they're like, what if we just eat the monsters?
Oh shit! Of course. That
So it's
only
kind
makes
of
sense.
like a D&D mixed with cooking. Because they're big about like, what do we do? Like, well, this mandrake, kind of tastes like this, and if you cut it in like this, and they talk about like cooking of fictional monsters, which is super fun. And it starts off that way, and it's like, oh, it's just a fun like adventure cooking anime, and then it gets pretty serious like halfway through. So that could certainly, I would say, I would recommend that one if you're looking for a little bit of adventure and would be intrigued about eating or seeing people eat some monsters.
Okay.
It's just really interesting what they do. It's a lot of like things that I feel like I haven't seen that much in anime or just general storytelling. But that one's quite fun. I don't know when season 2 of that, but all season 1's on Netflix, so you could just binge through that. I think it's a couple episodes. We are on season 2 of My Dress Up Darling. This one is very Japanese. It's all about this boy who
Oh boy.
has no friends essentially because his one passion is making these Japanese Hina dolls. And
what's a Hina doll?
It's a particular kind of Japanese doll that's like very intricate and detailed and takes a lot of artsmanship and craftsmanship to create. But essentially, the kids are like, "You're into dolls. You're weird. I don't want to be friends with you." So he gets very
That's very
traumatized by that.
American. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not, very confident in himself. He doesn't have a lot of friends.
No, poor
He
guy.
meets this girl who's the most popular girl in school and everything. She's beautiful. And then it turns out that she's super into cosplay and like making her own costumes and dressing up. And then she finds out that he can sew because he makes these dolls. So she wants him to make all of her cosplays and such. And it creates a friendship that, like, at least towards the end of season 1 is like building to a romance, but it certainly has the weirdness that you would expect, but it has a lot of wholesome elements too. So that was
sounds
one
really
that, like,
nice.
okay, this is actually like quite nice to see. There's gonna be plenty of weird things as you would expect, but not so weird where it's just like, what am I watching? It's mostly wholesome with a few.
That sounds
Don't
really
worry
nice,
about,
actually.
like,
someone walking
typical-
in while you're watching and be like, no, I promise it's not what you think.
No, it's like much less. It's probably like 2 scenes where you're just like, what's going on here?
It's not
But
that
you
food
can
one
kinda
where they're having sex
ignore
while
that
they're
one.
making food or whatever, right?
It's not having sex while they're making food. It's just that they eat the food that's so good that their clothes blow off, and it's like this orgasmic experience.
It's very different, actually. You've actually fundamentally misunderstood this.
It is very different. It's a different kind of pleasure.
Why don't you
different
find some
depiction.
culture, you fucking heathen?
Exactly. And then last 2 that I'll touch on. This one I think definitely I wanted to put on your radar, Andrew, because it might be. I feel like you like a bit more of like the serious anime.
No head
In a
bonk, but the
sense,
giant
like a
cone.
darker-
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that happens in most of them, but this one a little bit less. But there's a horror anime that is on Netflix that's pretty good. We haven't finished it yet.
Sorry, the head bug got me. I don't mean to derail things. I can just clip my laughing out. I just want.
No, that happens. No, so if you want an anime that doesn't have the head bonking, it's just more of the seriousness. It's
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
check out the summer Hikari died. So this one is a kind of like a true horror.
It's no
Anime?
laughing matter, okay?
It's not laughing matter. It's actually pretty serious. A little scary, not the scariest.
It's not
but-
that black and white one we tried to watch.
No, it's not the black and white one we watched. It's about these 2 friends who one like goes to the mountains for some mysterious reason, and then he dies, and they just like never find his body, and then he magically comes back later, and they're just like, oh, what's going on with you? And it turns out that it's not the same guy. He was taken over by some kind of like,
It's like a
spirit alien creature that's imitating him.
body snatcher
And,
kind of
like,
situation.
the body snatcher, and like some darkness starts to happen afterwards. So if you're feeling more of the like horror side, that one's on Netflix. So you could
That's on
you could get
Netflix?
through that. That one's on Netflix. Yeah. It's,
Okay.
Animation's great. No head bonking. It's like all seriousness and horror. All right. Last one.
That one. That one. Is,
Not too much head bonking, but more in the like magical and rom-com category. I think I brought up Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai before.
what is this?
Sounds
Maybe.
familiar.
It's one's on Crunchyroll. It's the first season was out like many years ago, and then there were a couple movies, and the movies were just never made available anywhere else, and they're finally on Crunchyroll, and season 2 is out. But it's the title is kind of misleading. Certainly, like the first 3 episodes are about like this rascal boy who sees this girl in a bunny costume, but the main plot is essentially like there's a thing called adolescent syndrome, where some kind of anxiety or some other like inherent thing that's unresolved in the teenager becomes like a magical manifestation, like supernatural.
Okay.
So this girl is a famous actress. Like she is like overwhelmed by the attention. So her teen adolescent syndrome manifests itself as like her becoming invisible to other people.
Oh.
So she starts wearing a bunny costume just to see if anyone will recognize her. And then the main character does. And that's kind of what sparks the
rascal
like, the
boy
connection there.
recognizes the.
Yeah.
That sounds like that.
And
could be
then
fun.
like it's quite good. And then like every 3 episodes is focused on a different character, and they each have like a different supernatural thing happen to them. And like they're generally just good characters. Like there's I feel like a lot of anime where the main like male character is just kind of like just kind of an asshole, like that you don't want to like see succeed or like, you know, cheer for, where like he's actually a pretty cool guy, and you like get invested in him and all the other characters. So the main like one is called Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, but then like the movies have different names.
What does senpai mean?
It's like a senior student to you. So like if you're 1 year above someone, they would typically be your senpai.
Okay.
So she's 1 year ahead of him in school, basically.
Okay.
It's like a respectful thing to call a senior classmate.
Student senpai. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Depending on what you're going in for, there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of good anime now. I'm sure I'm missing.
Sounds like plenty of options out there.
Yeah. So in different streaming platforms to.
But if you own Netflix, which obviously is pretty accessible.
Yeah, no, it's easy. Like
most
people have Netflix. So and Dandadan is on Netflix.
It is. I see
Summer
it pop
Hikari
up there
died
all the time. I need to watch more of it.
It's great. It just that one has the mix of everything. It has the comedy, it has the action, it has the head bonking, it has the romance, it's got the horror a little bit, it's got the sci-fi. It's just got everything. It's like the complete anime.
All right. Well,
so there you go. That's what I've been up to.
All right. Well, thanks for so many shows that are new to me.
There's a list there. Yeah,
some
just take your pick.
Some I haven't. So
most I have not. Yeah.
I would like to go for peak head bonking. I think that would bring me lots of joy.
That one. I don't know. There's plenty of those out there for sure.
I'll look it up on the internet. Don't worry. I'm sure people have chimed in on this very subject before. Very, very, very normal conversations, I'm sure too. So, anyway, Andrew, what have you been up to? We gathered here a week ago to talk about Superman, but surely you've been up to a thing or two.
Yeah, so Project Hail Mary, that's a thing.
Right?
And magic cards are perpetually a thing, as my wife reminds me constantly. And
because she's buying you new booster packs to increase your collection.
She actually did go to Walmart to go grocery shop, and I watched the boys. She came back with 2 booster packs.
Oh, see, she loves you.
Yeah, it was very nice.
She loves you.
It was very considerate. But I really honestly think I haven't been up to a whole lot, really.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the Eyes of Wakanda.
Just keeping 2 kids alive.
Yeah,
that's true. You've been raising a couple of kids, so it's not like you've been doing nothing.
I tried to watch is it Eyes of Wakanda? Is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah, it's like a little 4-episode deal just dropped within the past month or so.
I watched the first episode, and I thought it was awesome. Bennett did not. He said it's not nice. There was a lot of ass kicking, and he was not a fan. It made him very sad. Not nice, Dad. Not nice. Not nice. You know, because like the one guy's got like gray hair, and it reminded him of Gigi, which is his great grandma, and it's just not nice, Dad. Not nice. And so I waited until he went to bed to finish it, because that bitch, she kicked the shit out of that gray haired guy, for sure. Bennett would not have liked that at all. Anyways, it seems like it's off to a really good start. Seems like a really compelling thrust for a show, which if you don't know, the Eyes of Wakanda, at least this first episode is it takes place well before our Black Panther that we get,
right?
And I can't remember the name of the ladies that defend Wakanda.
The Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje, yes. Dora Milaje, what have you? They're trying to find artifacts. Like in this particular episode, one of the generals of Wakanda left to conquer the earth with his artifacts of he took core technology, just ridiculous technology for the times, and he was trying to conquer the area and whatnot, and they sent this lady out to take care of it, and she did. And it was a very cool episode. So cool idea. I don't know if that's the thrust for every episode. But this particular episode was artifacts of Wakanda that were stolen and stolen to conquer the rest of the world, and they were recovered by these people. And I thought that was very, very, very cool. It was very compelling, and it was exciting because she was kind of an outcast, and she was called upon to become a war dog, which was very cool. Very cool episode. Very much enjoyed that. Bennett did not. And what else? What else did you guys say that I said I was up to?
Oh, I don't know. If there was anything else, I think that was what I had.
Okay.
For you.
Yeah. I can't think of anything
raising
else.
2 kids, I think, is what we said.
Raising 2 kids. Yeah. So Sarah began on Monday. Today is Tuesday. Sarah on Monday, yesterday, Sarah began her first day back to school. Mondays are my day back.
Florida's already back?
Florida's already back, baby. We're back.
Oh, wow.
And
I feel like Florida has more school, and yet we learned less. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we don't like books, so we had to take a little bit longer,
Yeah. I mean, it really puts a lot on the teachers themselves. Like, I'm sure she has a lot to.
Yeah, she's with 2 kids. She's so we're back to the school year. We're 2 days in. We're not very far or what have you, and so the beginning of the year is always a very complex, tumultuous time because you have a lot going on. Like bus rider situation. You got kids, especially in elementary school. Like you get like new kindergarten kids that don't know their name and this and that, and it gets really it's really tough to like.
These kids don't know their names.
Well, like some of them, like for example, like we call Nolan Bobo. And so if we call him by his nickname the whole time, I would like to think by the time he goes into fucking kindergarten, he knows.
Right,
his
I'm
name
like
is
Nolan. Nolan's a few months old.
But we call him Bobo, and Bennett goes like this, hey Bennett, do you want this baby want this, so Bennett calls himself baby, and maybe he grows up thinking he's Baby Driver, which would be cool, but
that's true.
Hopefully he knows his name is Bennett and not Baby, but when they go into school, a lot of these kids don't even, some of them, I'm not going to say a lot of them because I don't know, but Sarah says a lot of them don't even know they're like how to figure out where they're going because they're in kindergarten. They're kids, they're little babies, and so with our area and how populated it's gotten in such a short amount of time, our infrastructure is very constrained. Everything's a 2-lane road and this and that, and so traffic gets really bad around pickup time and everything. Like one school was they let out at 4:00, but all the kids didn't get released from school until 7:30, and so it's just it's just a constraint, and it's just a lot going on, and Sarah's been stressed about it, and it's a lot been going on, and she's only 2 months, she's not on maternity leave. She went back to school to get the school year started, and she's going to come back and do a month with Nolan for maternity leave and then go back to school. So she's we're trying to balance Nolan out because he's not big enough to go to daycare yet. He's not old enough. So tomorrow I don't go to work, but I stay home with the boys, right? To give Sarah's mom a little bit of relief because, that way she's not watching a kid 5 days a week. And so it's a little bit of a thing, a little bit of a balancing act. Me, myself, I'm looking forward to staying home with the boys. I'm pretty fucking stoked about it. Last week, I think I stayed home pretty much all day, and we just Bennett actually slept in until 10:30, which was nuts. And then we had a TV day and played in the house or whatever. But tomorrow, if I wake up at a decent time and everybody's up at a decent time, I think we'll probably go to a park or something. It'd probably be pretty fun. Pretty excited about it. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, so Sarah's kind of in a big transition period because she's going from all summer long and then like newborn and then to like starting off school, and then she's got to go back to maternity leave, and it's just a rough time for Sarah, unfortunately. And I kind of feel like Reed Richards. I can look at things really pragmatic and like very matter of fact, which is the way I try to address most things. Because when you address things like emotionally, nothing ever really works out. So I really try to like address everything very pragmatic, and oftentimes that comes off callous and cold and like inconsiderate and asshole-ish and this and that. And so I just, it's why I kind of like identified with Reed Richards a little bit in this.
Just don't give up the baby to save the planet. There's other ways. There's got to be another way.
But what if we did?
I mean,
but what if you did?
Yeah, I guess it's worth thinking about.
So yeah. So anyways, it's it's just it's time. It's a time we're all in, and yeah, life is good. It's always a journey. We're always on this journey.
It could be better, is what you're saying. Life is good, but it could be better.
Could be better.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm actually very happy that Sarah, the things worked out the way they did, because I get these like 4 weeks off with just me and baby time and boy time, and it's actually
it's nice.
It is nice because like the bonding time that me and Nolan have, because you have to try to balance the time you have with Bennett. And he's older and he demands so much more attention. And I try to give it, and Nolan obviously can't demand that kind of attention. And so it's nice that these 4 weeks have actually been a really big bonding point with me, my second born, because like I have that time to where I need to hold him all the time, and it's only me that can hold him. You know what I mean? And it's actually I'm very happy that I've had that time. So yeah, I don't know. You guys will recognize it one day. There's nuances and stuff that happen with your first and then your second, and we're not going to have a third, but I imagine that's a different journey as well. So I'm fortunate to be walking this path, and I'm very happy that I am. I don't know. It's my life's joy to be able to do this. So makes me very happy. So
good.
Yeah. Anyways,
nice.
So,
very nice. That? Well, I'm going to talk about Fantastic Four some more.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You guys thought we were done with Fantastic Four, but joke's on you. I've been inundating myself with all things Fantastic Four, except for Fan Four Stick. No, thank you. I went back and before I watched First Steps, I did go back and I watched the old 2005 and 2007 Fantastic Fours. So Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Well,
the classic, really. The ones that we grew up on. I think all of us.
Silver Surfer.
Said Ioan Gruffudd, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis, Julian McMahon, R.I.P. Look, they're not good, but they have their own sort of charm to them. I think the first one is probably, it's really not bad. Like, it's a quintessential classic mid-2000s kind of superhero movie in terms of tone and feel. But it's like a half-decent like rendition of the origin, getting the characterization right. Like, it totally botches Doctor Doom, like that's, in terms of characterization, like, not great, but like, it's actually it's like a solid enough, fun sub 2 hour movie. Like, I don't know. I thought it was like fine. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was like a kind of nice, like, I don't know. I guess there was probably some nostalgia attached to it. And so I kind of enjoyed that. Silver Surfer is kind of an ass movie. It's kind of shit. It's like short and shitty, and like, just like, it's like the things that were dumb about the first one, they've taken up to 11, and so it's just all around kind of dumb, and just the humor just is kind of very flat.
He was pretty cool though. Silver Surfer.
The Silver Surfer himself, as I said earlier, is actually pretty cool. So it was like a combo. It was Doug Jones that did the physical portrayal, and then they had Lawrence Fishburne do the voice. And like that, like actually the Silver Surfer stuff was done pretty well. So I, like I said, not the Galactus stuff, but the Silver Surfer stuff was good. There's some interesting parallels, I guess. Again, I'll mark spoilers for First Steps. There's like a scene where Johnny follows the Silver Surfer up into space and then gets kicked back down. There's a Sue death fake out in Silver Surfer, which I totally forgot about, which obviously I'm just like, some of it's probably taken from the comics, and I don't specifically remember like what is or isn't in the comics, so I'm guessing some of those are similar touchstones, but it was kind of interesting, like seeing Rise of the Silver Surfer and then watching First Steps and be like, oh wow, I didn't think they were going to like not necessarily recreate that moment, but have a very similar moment. So that was kind of interesting to see. But what I also did was go back and watch that goddamn 1994 The Fantastic Four unreleased film, which again, not officially released. So the what I had always believed and what Stan Lee had been apparently telling people is that this was a movie that was made for peanuts. It was an extremely low budgeted film. And Stan Lee had told people that like this was never, like they had made this purely to keep the rights. Like Constantine Film had the Fantastic Four film rights. The only way to keep the rights, for a few more years was to make a movie. And so there was this idea that they made this movie with no intention of ever releasing it. They spent as little money on it as they possibly could and just made it, and then scuttled it so that people wouldn't actually have to see it because it's just not meant to be seen. And there's some conflicts to that story. So apparently another version of things is that Avi Arad, who helped found Marvel Studios, produced a lot of the 2000s superhero stuff, and has been with Sony most recently doing all the Venom and schlocky shit there, apparently found out that they were doing it, and he was concerned that this low budget thing would kind of poison the well of Fantastic Four, and so he reportedly paid $2 million for the rights just so that he could trash everything. And he apparently watched it, ordered that all prints be destroyed to prevent its release. And so it was never released to the public. It was apparently exhibited once in 1994. And so I'm not exactly sure how this happened, but there's a way to watch this movie again on the internet. And I don't know if that's from that exhibition. I don't know if I don't like maybe some version of it survived somewhere, and obviously once it survived at least once, then it could just be spread, rapid fire all over the internet. So I'm not sure what the actual origin is. I can say that what I've watched looked like dog shit. And this is not a good movie. It's so campy. It's so obviously low budgeted in like a pathetic sort of way where it like might as well just be a fan film, made for $15,000 in someone's backyard. Like it might as well be that. Like it's not. It's a cut above that. Like it had an actual $1 million budget, which is not a lot. It's not a lot of money for movies, but it's a lot of money for like most people. And so like there's some things about it that like it's kind of weird. Like it's it is an origin story. It's like the first 40 minutes is like there's Reed and Victor's backstory together in college, and then there's the full origin story in space. There's a subplot where there's a character named the Jeweler who's trying to kidnap Alicia Masters, and apparently it was meant to be Mole Man, but they didn't have the rights to the character of Mole Man, so they just changed the name.
Fucking Mole Man.
But if I have to pay any one compliment to this movie, and I hope that come 2026 I can no longer say this, it's the best on-screen version of Doctor Doom that we've ever seen.
Wow.
Which is really shameful overall, but costume's pretty accurate. It's a little low budget, as everything is in this movie. Characterization, he's like a Latvian, kind of dictator. He's in a castle and shit. Like it's I don't know, man. It's like pretty Doctor Doom. The backstory's right. Like he's Victor Von Doom. He's not a businessman. He's not some, it's I don't know. Like, for all the faults of this movie, and there are many, Doctor Doom is like, in like he's comically overacted and stuff like that and ridiculous, but like still the best on-screen version of Doctor Doom to date, as of 2025. And I sincerely hope again that 2026 makes me rethink that sentiment. So, and then finally on the Fantastic Four stuff. I don't know if you guys knew this. I didn't really know anything about it. There was a Silver Surfer animated series that came out in the 90s. They made 13 episodes.
I'm familiar with it, but
came out in 1998. It's, kind of in the same era as the Spider-Man and the X-Men shows. It's a combination of 2D and 3D animation. So it's mostly 2D animation, but Galactus is in it, and Galactus is always rendered in 3D. And so it's kind of cool. I mean, it looks like dog shit as well in its own sort of late 90s 3D animation sort of way. But I think it's actually pretty cool. It's fucking bonkers. I've only watched a couple episodes, which is like the origin of the Silver Surfer. And, it's basically Norrin Rad volunteering to serve Galactus to save his planet, the kind of classic Silver Surfer story. But it's like it's got the Watcher in it. The Watcher's like warning Zenlaw. It's got Thanos in it, and Thanos is like trying to court Lady Chaos because they couldn't use death. You couldn't say death in a kids' TV show or something. And I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and it's got and Shalabal is in it. Shalabal and Norrin Rad are a thing in there. So there's that. But apparently it's got like Adam Warlock in it, Pip the Troll, Nebula, Drax. Like it's like Ego the Living Planet was in one. Like it's full on Beta Ray Bill. Like it's got like it's
crazy
full
shit.
Cosmic.
Yeah.
It's like fucking full cosmic shit. I'm like, this is actually pretty fucking badass. Like it's kind of it's it's goofy, it's kind of corny, but it's it's a 90s cartoon kids show. Like it's kind of how it goes. So I respect how it's I don't know. I respect that they kind of seem to went for it, and I never watched this, in the way that I watched those Spider-Man and X-Men animated shows, but it's pretty fucking cool, and it's streaming on Disney Plus, so you can just watch it there, nice and easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty fun. I know there is a Fantastic Four animated show too, but I didn't watch that for this episode, so I don't need to talk about that. And there's no mention of the Fantastic Four. That's one thing. Like the Fantastic Four are like totally excised from the story, which is kind of interesting too. But makes for a different version of things, which is again kind of interesting in its own way. So, outside of the Fantastic Four shit I've been doing, the only other thing that I had been up to this past weekend was I rewatched Rogue One: A Star Wars Story.
There we go.
Because I had wanted to do it before we talked about Andor and hadn't done so by the time we recorded. And as I talked about on the last episode, we made our way through the Star Wars prequels, and then kind of Rogue One was next on deck, and it's still a great fucking movie. No surprises there. Having the Andor background certainly adds a bit to certainly Cassian's characterization. There's like a particular scene where, Jen's confronting him about like, you were going to kill my father. And he's like, you don't know I've been in this shit since I was fucking 6, and it's just like, yes, I've seen it now. And so, I do think there's, I kind of wish I had watched it a little bit closer to finishing Andor, but I do think that having kind of the more fleshed out background for Cassian and stuff, kind of, I don't know, it just made it hit a little bit harder, even more so this time. Like, I always liked Rogue One, and like, obviously there's stuff in it that's like really fucking badass. Like the whole last third act with the Scarif stuff leading into the Vader stuff is like just some of the best Star Wars film stuff that we've certainly gotten in the Disney era, to say the least, but maybe all time too. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Great.
The whole 3 thing. The season 1, season 2, and Andor.
Yeah,
season 1, season 2, and Rogue One.
All of Andor through Rogue One is just
incredible.
It's
fucking
good.
Star Wars, the best Star Wars. It's so good,
for sure. And if you want to hear more thoughts on Andor and Rogue One, at least as far as Andrew is concerned, make sure you listen to our Andor episode we put out a couple episodes ago, because we went into it pretty extensively. But that's it for me. That's what I've got. So I'm gonna say we should wrap this up, because we're long in the tooth here. Are we ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. We are on Patreon at patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. It's good for early access to all of our regular episodes, timed exclusive access to our bonus episodes, and remember, 5 new supporters on Patreon, Fan 4-stick bonus episode. If you will it into existence, we will make it for you. But we put the onus on you, our listeners, our regular listeners, our regular Patreon supporters. We appreciate everything that you do. But the onus is on the new listeners if you want to hear the Fan 4-stick. What I'm going to say is if no one subscribes, it's just a clear message. No, we don't want Fan 4-stick. It's not an indictment of the podcast. It's an indictment of Fan 4-stick is how I'll interpret it. Our website's watchreviewrepeat.com. You can get links to all of our socials that we're on. We're on Blue Sky at watchreviewrepeat.bsky.social, Instagram at watchreviewrepeats, facebook.com/watchreviewrepeats. Website has all of our latest episodes, info on the Patreon. If you didn't hear what I said a minute ago and need help, you can find it there. There's a tab for it. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can send those our way to watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. If you've got something to say, send it our way. Our intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod and Comptech.com, licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Before we fully wrap things up and tee up what we're covering next, we, of course, must say thank you to Henrique for hanging out with us for a few hours.
Yeah,
talking
thank you,
Fantastic
dude.
Four. And it's not another Marvel movie for another almost year, so I don't know. We'll probably have to have you on
we got to
something,
find
but-
something else to talk about then.
It's been a clobbering time, if I do say so myself.
Oh, I think it's been fantastic.
Ooh.
I think it's been
4.
flame on. I think it's been. I think it's been. I think it's been
In many steps, at least some first ones.
It's been a real stretch hanging out with you invisibly. I don't know.
You satiated my hunger. Thank you.
Oh,
There
yeah,
you
there we
go.
go. All right, well, let's surf on to what we're covering next, and we'll see. Andrew and I have talked about it. I think Weapons just came out in theaters, so if he's got a theater trip in him again, we'd like to cover
The
that.
Alien show.
The Alien
Right?
show just started,
Yeah,
so
it did.
we have a little bit of time before it wraps up, but I definitely want to start watching that.
God damn it. If they put black goo in this show, I'm going to be pissed.
It's gonna be bugs.
Well, I guess the only way to know is to watch it
Just
and
to
find
watch
out
it.
for
Yeah,
yourself.
that's how they get you.
And then, so if Weapons can happen sooner rather than later, what we've also talked about is circling back to some stuff that came out in theaters around the time Nolan was born that is now out on video. So something like 28 years later, something we actually specifically talked about. So we could do that potentially next if that's an easier thing to accommodate. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. And as a final note, episode 300 is coming up fast, and maybe we're working on something special for that. So we'll maybe reveal some more information on that in the coming episodes as we build towards 300. So we're getting there. Pretty big milestones. So
300 goddamn episodes. That's nuts.
it's a lot. That's a lot of hours,
that's a lot of episodes.
especially because most of these are, I'll say, 2+ hours, and really 3+
At the
hours
very
is kind of-
least,
kind of
yeah.
where they've been of late. So yeah. So anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you, Henrique. Thank you, Andrew. And why don't you take everyone out?
Take her now. Bye-bye then.
Later's on the Minjay.